Mic is muted, cam is muted. There I am. Hey guys, I'm sorry. I'm actually driving home still. We had a tornado come through. I had to go pick up my son from the school bus drop off. I'll be home in like 3 minutes, but since I start on time every time, we started at 8:05 as usual. And I will. Unfortunately, I don't know how quickly the chat's coming through, so I can't see what you guys are doing. I will be home here shortly. I'm going to kill my cam. It kills the batteries. But you guys just bear with me, man. I'll be home here in a few minutes, and I'll literally sprint into the studio and get everything sorted out. So we're going to have a really good show tonight. We're going to have Kat back here in a little bit. She'll be on, I think, in probably 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. We're going to talk about some good stuff. In the meantime, I'm just going to sit here and kind of monologue as I try and drive, which is, that's cool. My son's with me, so he's making all kinds of weird noises, being a moron. And you guys just kind of, you guys have to kind of deal with it. My apologies. And, even though there was no tornado anywhere near us, everyone's driving like it's the end of the world. So it's just taking far longer than it should. So I'll be home here in a few minutes, though. It's cool. Everybody's cool. It was complete non-issue. The bus driver freaked out and pulled over and had the kids shelter inside a little store, a market. If you're from the South, it's a Dollar General. You know what those are. And they're everywhere. And pretty much sure they're bomb-proof. Shut up. So I don't know why, but instead of just continuing forward in the town, the bus driver decided to stop. So it made everybody's life a little harder. But that's okay because all the kids are safe and everybody is good to go. I'll be, like I said, I'll be home here in just probably if this car will accelerate like a normal vehicle, the one in front of me, we'll have a good time. We'll be live here very shortly. Tonight we're going to talk about a bunch of different things, but I think the main focus, which has kind of come up, there's be two things. First, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Lauren Chin and Andrew episode. I know that there's been some conflicting opinions around the net. I kind of just want to throw my 2 cents more in to the pot. And I guess there's actually 3 things. We're also going to talk about whatever, and not specifically the show last night, but how all of these panel shows like whatever and so on seem to be getting more than their fair share of psyop, disingenuous, just basically bad faith people who are coming on either to get a clippable moment or some other nonsense. And so it's going to be a good time. And the last thing and one of the other things we're going to talk about, probably the main focus of the night's discussion, is going to be on cheating. I know that probably most people that are out there listening to me right now have been cheated on, or maybe have cheated on somebody with somebody else, and it seems to be something that it's kind of an interesting thing now. It used to be really frowned on. You would get shamed for that. Now, all of a sudden, for whatever reason, we seem to have this idea that it's okay. It's okay to be, for someone to cheat. We don't even think about it anymore. If your best friend comes over and tells you that he cheated on his wife, you might give him a little bit of crap, but at the end of the day, you're still going to be friends and everything. Is that really the best policy? I don't know. We're going to talk about it here in a few minutes. I'm about to pull in my driveway. You guys can, you're being treated to the sounds of me driving through the town, and I'm pulling in my drive now. And here we go. All right. All right. We have missile lock, so we're going to turn off. And Aiden, go do your homework.
Yep. For as long as I can.
Actually, you having a good time? Are you into it? Are you digging it? All right, cool. Because we're about to be live 5x5 in any second now. All right. Now I got to figure out how to unfuck all this. Cat is in the studio. All right. So I'm going to add that to the stage. I'm gonna move that. Move that. There I am. And there's Cat. All right.
You made it.
How cool is this?
Is this too annoying, the colors? I'm just trying not to have so much bright light on my eyes.
I'm sorry?
Are the colors too annoying? Because I'm trying not to have bright light on my face.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I hadn't even noticed. I had to go pick my son up from the tornado drill.
Yeah, I
So
saw.
that was awesome. So, all right. Wasn't a tornado drill. I mean, I don't know. The bus driver just freaked out and pulled over. I don't know what the deal was. So, oh, I know what's going on. All right, let's see. Did that fix it? Yeah, no more echo. Yay.
I didn't hear an
Awesome.
echo.
All right, guys, here we go. That's a lot of green. I got to be honest with you. That's a lot of green.
Is there another color you guys like?
I
don't know.
Let's see. Let me go find this. Sorry, guys. I gotta get caught up, man. You know, it was something like a hurricane, a tornado actually going on. So yeah, good times.
Was there anything else that you would like? Because I remember you saying something.
No, you're good, man. Thanks, buddy.
I'm good, street.
Yeah. All right. There we go. What in the world is going on here? Oh well. Okay. All right. So now we're back. All right. So as I was saying, guys, we're going to talk about a couple of different things. The good news. All right, we'll talk about this. What's the good news there, buddy? Just go ahead and throw it out there in the chat. All right. While he's doing that, Cat, while he's typing away, how's your day?
Pretty good.
You're muted.
Oh. No. Can you hear me?
Uh-oh. It was me earlier. Now it's you.
You sure you can't hear me?
Yeah, I didn't even have time to put my links up so everybody knows that everything's what's going on. So that was good. Is your mic good?
Can you hear me?
I can barely hear you. That could be on my end though. Let me check my volume. My volume's way down. Try again.
Hello?
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Excellent. All right, Josie's on her way in. I'm good. Hopefully she'll behave herself. If not, I've got the button. I've got the button. All right, so let's see what else I got to do here. Got the crude oil hauler job. Got the results. All right, cool, man. Having a girl. I'm sorry, I really am. I'd like to like give you encouragement and stuff, but I'm so glad I have boys. So, yep. All right, let's Kat, do you have anything you want to talk about? I actually liked your stream earlier. The George, I napped through part of it, so I'm sorry, but I did comment the George Costanza, the season of George, Summer of
Yes.
George, the Summer of George.
Yes. So that was about my method when stuff were going really bad that I got from Seinfeld. Hilarious.
Yeah. Seinfeld's always funny. I've always I've always enjoyed Seinfeld, even though he's kind of a weird. He's kind of a weird guy. But have you ever read? He wrote a book. It's really good. It's called Letters from a Nut, and it's really good. It's actually like a really good book. He I guess during his comedy career, he stayed in all these hotels and everything, and he would write letters back to the management claiming he had lost his glass eye or he had lost a samurai sword and it was stolen out of his suitcase or something, and just to see what their response would be, right? Like he was like it was trolling before there was trolling, and he was great at it. He was really great, and you got to read, if you ever get a chance. Letters from a Nut is just. And it's all short stories. So, you just pick it up for like 10 minutes and then put it down and you just read like these little letters that he wrote. These are actual letters that he wrote to the hotel. They were just crazy. Like, who thinks of this stuff? This is nuts. Like, why would you? Well, first of all, why would you think of that? But
do you remember back when kids used to do phone calls before we had caller ID, prank phone calls?
Yes. Admitting nothing, I do remember those days. I know Kevin Landers does. My man, Kevin. All right, let's see. He's got a word for chipping. Can't imagine raising a girl at this point. Well, Kat is actually. So that's good.
It's not hard.
It is. It doesn't matter, honestly, whether they're girls or boys. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard.
No, it's not. It's good. It's fun.
It is fun, though.
I made a tiny little me that I get to hang out with.
You say that like it's a plus.
It is. I think it's a plus. My husband's like, oh no.
Right. I was like, so are you alone in this thought that it's a plus?
No, I think it's great, but I also know like we'll act crazy like towards him, like we'll troll him together in unison in one unit. Yeah, but just to be fun, and then he's just like, oh no, there's two of them.
Right? Yeah, like you can't get away.
But it's fun. He loves it.
Yeah, of course he does. Of course he does. All right. Yeah, everybody's your friend until the rent comes due. That's what I'm going to say. Everybody's your friend. I rented my my 4-bedroom house to the super based couple today, and like she came, is actually really cool because he of course he's working. It's middle of the day for him, so he had to he drives a truck, so he brings this flatbed truck, backs it down the driveway, and he's like, "Oh yes, it's cool. I can bring truck home from work and actually park it here." I'm assuming he can't park it where he currently lives, and the next thing, he stood out by his truck for a while, and I couldn't, it's kind of like, well, maybe he's maybe he's just waiting for his wife, which would be the right thing to do. But not only was he waiting on her, she had actually taken a wrong turn, and he was guiding her back via phone to where she needed to be. And then he actually came in while she was, correcting her mistake. And he came in, talked to me for a minute. And then as soon as she hit the driveway, he's like, "Hey, I need to go outside. She hasn't been feeling well, so I'm just going to help my wife in the house." That's awesome. That's the type of dude you want renting your house, right? Like, of the friends you have, how many people do you know would do that?
Maybe
Really?
1, 2.
Right? Like, if you're honest about it, they're like, she's fine. She'll get here eventually, or they'll be like, can somebody go pick up my wife at the curb? I'm lounging here. And so yeah, it was actually really cool to see. And then of course they signed all, and he literally read every single word of the lease. It's the first tenant I've had in like
Really?
six years. Yep. I've had it happen before, but there's like a split between, most of them just look at it and go, "Yeah, okay, it's fine, whatever." He read every single line. And I went over all of the things and all the changes and everything. There's, because they have pets, and they had questions because they want to have chickens. And I was like, "Hey, I'm cool with you having," and I'm like, "Hey, the pet deposit is only for your pets. Farm animals, I don't care about. Just take care of them. Don't tear up my property. You're cool." And so they're going to do chickens and ducks.
Nice.
And dude's like into it. Like right now, his wife's like, "Well, you should probably wait till after the baby is delivered." And he's like, "No, I'd like to have eggs before fall." So I mean, he's a dude. He's a dude,
Yeah,
So,
I had chickens, and I live in the city.
you had chickens, really?
The best. I had 6
I find it
chickens.
so hard to believe that you had chickens.
What's hard to believe? I love chickens.
Well, look at you. You're
What
like
about-
I don't know if you've noticed this, but you're a girl, and you're kind of
Girls are the ones who usually say we need more chickens, we need more goats, we need more ducks. That's the girls thing.
the cute animals, I've
Yeah.
noticed.
Well, chickens are cute.
Mm.
Well, mine were cute, okay?
Oh.
Mine were like little dogs. What? I'd go sit on the swing set. They sit on my lap. The best.
The chickens would sit on your lap.
Yeah, they sit on your lap. You just hear like the flapping of the feet every time you go outside. They run towards you.
Yeah. Oh, Jess is in the stream. Hi, Jess. How are you? The horse girl has arrived. We're all safe now. The horse girl has arrived. So, yep. That's probably why that is. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there's I did not have farm animals when I was growing up, even though technically I guess we probably should have. My mother, or my grandmother on my stepdad's side, she had geese and what are those other peacocks?
Mm.
Those are angry birds. Like, I honestly think that's where the Angry Bird game comes from. They are angry, man. They just like, I had no, I would have had no issues if they had turned those geese into goose pate or drumsticks.
I absolutely hate geese and turkeys.
So we have wild turkeys on my property. I actually had a picture of one the other day. This huge hen just walked right by the front porch. Yeah. And every morning when I drive out, there's a field. We were actually going to buy it a couple of years ago, but they wanted maybe too much money for it. And I was like, we'll probably won't. We drive by it every day, and there's deer and wild turkeys in it every day. And I mean like a huge flock of wild turkeys. And every morning I tell my son, it's like, it's nice to know where the grocery store is. Got to know where the grocery store is. So, Kat, can you talk for a couple of minutes? I got a repairman calling me.
Okay, but I don't know what to talk about, so
Talk
that's
about
on you.
people cheating and stuff.
Don't cheat, guys. It's very bad. It's bad for the economy. It's bad for families. And I will not eat a turducken. That seems weird. One animal at a time. You're not supposed to eat the geese? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't eat one anyways. I just don't like them. But yes, they are Satan's fowl. I agree with that. And turkeys too. Once I got chased by a turkey, male turkey, defending his ladies, and nobody would help me in this outdoor party. So I had to kick him in the face nearly before somebody came and almost maybe kind of helped me, but not really. Scariest moment ever. Being attacked by a turkey is the worst thing you'll ever experience.
Turkey. Okay. All right.
That's what you get on the
birds
spot.
are angry. That's all. The whole game, Angry Birds, is like accurate. Birds are angry creatures. They're just angry. They're mean. They don't like people. I don't think they like each other either. To be honest with you, they're buttheads. But anyway, so actually, before we launch into the cheating topic, I know you didn't watch much of the Lauren Chin debate with Andrew, but I don't know why I almost said Andy. I'm sorry, man. I'm having a night, guys. I'm sorry. But the interesting thing about that was, there were people on. I don't know if they were exactly on her side or if they were just anti-Andrew. But they were like, well, he bullied her. He did this. He did. I didn't see any of that in the entire debate.
No.
He was actually, I felt like that he was exceedingly patient. Now he did. Okay. Now he did make, if she said something stupid, he would point that out and make fun of it, but he wasn't like hammering her. I really thought that overall, I would not have handled that as well. I just know that about me. Like when I watched it, I was like, this dude's it's an art form here. We're watching art because I can't do that. And anything I can't do, I consider art. So
yeah, me too. I say the same thing about Andrew. That is terrifying to me. I would be terrified to have any conversation with him where he's grilling me on anything. Even if I'm an expert in it, I would freak out and faint.
Yeah, it was really good. Andrew's points were pretty solid.
Yeah, perfect.
She admitted where she was wrong and all of that. So it's really interesting because I like to think that I'm that well, actually I know I am that patient, but I also at the same time I have a low tolerance, which is building, but I have kind of a low I've always had a low tolerance for like bullshit, right? Like if you're like don't and it comes out, a lot of times when I hammer the whatever podcast because they're being well, they're lying usually. That's what they're doing. They're lying. Don't like lying. Lying is bad. Lying is one of those things that's just like, why'd you even show up? If you're gonna lie, why'd you even show up? So it's just an interesting thing.
Can I say one thing? So this guy in the chat, he says that I didn't see this part. That's why I'm asking that Andrew was arguing against her videos from 5 years ago. So that's terrifying.
That last week too.
That's terrifying as hell to me because 5 years ago, I was saying the dumbest things you could imagine.
So here's the thing about that. Fidgety Guy is wrong about that. He knows he's wrong. We talked about this last time. I believe he admitted he was wrong. He asked her specifically, is this still your position? And she said, yes, this is my position. I haven't changed. This This is what I believe. And he said, okay, here we go. So the fact that nobody had addressed her points or her belief system in any proper way for 5 years is irrelevant. It literally is irrelevant. Like, nobody cares. I mean, if nobody tells me I'm fat, dumb, and ugly for 10 years, it doesn't not change the fact that I'm fat, dumb, and ugly. So, just the way it is.
Yeah.
Just the way it is, man. I'm sorry. You do not win. You do not get $200. You do not pass go, and you don't even get to go to jail. Sorry. It's a bad day for you. I don't know if she was brave, but she was very well-mannered. There's a difference. It's a small one, but
she wasn't one of those, that they get all like nasty when you catch them.
Yeah. Anyway, I just want to make really clear my perspective of it, because it seems like going around the internet, it's just like this. Everything's kind of getting twisted. Yeah, you're right. She wasn't defensive. She wasn't, she was open. He wasn't defensive. When she would attack something, he would listen. I mean, overall, it's one of the better debates I've seen, I think, period, overall. So, now she did hang on to her feminist ideals, even though she doesn't agree that they're feminist. They are, in fact, feminist. And that's, what? Hey, it's a game of inches, not yards.
Do you remember what she held on to? What feminist points? I don't remember. I didn't see all of it.
I'd hate to try and articulate it, because I will not get it correct. But basically, it was, my recollection is that it had to do with women and working and having careers and that sort of thing, where and it just some other thing. Basically, she's not 100% pro patriarchy, but she's not she's just not 100% pro patriarchy. She doesn't identify feminism as an anti patriarchal movement to destroy the nuclear family.
Oh,
yeah, I agree that she had a good faith argument for everything she said. He had a good faith argument for everything he said. And egalitarianism, right? This is right. So she, the egalitarianism, which she believes is something that is not feminist, but we all know that it is. Universal suffrage, I think she's against that, which I don't really agree. Service through citizen suffrage, which I think she was in favor of that. I don't think Andrew disagreed with that. And that is what she said. That is, I agree with that. That is, I believe that is exactly what she said, or what she was able to articulate as being her position, which Andrew then correctly identified several of these as feminist talking points and ideals. And so, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. You're not, again, game of inches, not yards. And I think that's something that's really interesting that people do in this space, is they try and bludgeon people to death with, like, you've got to change your entire worldview right now. And all that does, that's a losing proposition all the way around. And so from my point of view, which is largely irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, but but I get to say it anyway. I feel like that. Pardon me. I feel like that we do need to make that return to patriarchy, and I do think that it's a long trip. I don't want to say it's a hard trip, because I don't think it's that hard. It's a game of inches, right? You show people how things need to be, and sometimes they just have to come to grips with it, right? They just do. And then eventually maybe they'll be like, hey, this is right. This is way I should have known this, but I didn't. And I
Yeah.
think that we all have to realize that you're not going to undo 20 years of indoctrination in 2 hours. You never
Yeah.
can. It's not how that works. So
There's so many things that I still believe that I don't know were just indoctrination. And I'm like, why do I believe this? But then, and there's somebody told me today, one of my friends, he's like, what are you going to do with your life, Kat? Like, how are you going to make money? Like, what kind of legacy do you want? I'm like, wait, so I have to make money. I have to have a job to have a legacy. I have a kid. What are you talking about?
right. I have a legacy. Trust me. Trust me.
And it's
I'm
like,
done.
oh, yeah.
You could safely, the world could safely end and I would be okay. Oh, my son's back. You can continue. Yes.
Can I get some extra Wi-Fi, please?
That's a very nice slicker. It looks very familiar.
Yeah, I know. I kind of stole it from you. Can I get some Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I'll make that happen.
Thanks.
He steals my stuff. Takes all I have. I have all the good gear. So he just takes it from me. Give me a second. I gotta turn his internet back on. I have total control of my son's life. Really, he doesn't get internet without. He doesn't get. He gets an hour of cell phone time, and his internet turns off at 8:30 at night. So, gotta have that. Gotta have the parental controls, man. Just the way it is. And I'm failing to hit the correct button to turn it back on. So, Kat, what about cheating? What do you? I'm sure that it's either happened to you or you have watched it go down.
Yeah. The reason that I had to make my big, let me do the opposite of everything, Seinfeld, Costanza method, was because I got cheated on 8 times in a row within like a week of knowing someone. And it's not like, oh, they cheated. No, they left me for someone else 8 times in a row. And then you have to like look and be like, it's me. At some point, it's you. And then you have to realize everything you've been doing is wrong. And you don't know anything because you are messing this up so bad. So every instinct I had, I just did the opposite. And it worked out, which is crazy because I thought my instincts were correct. They didn't seem bad. There's nothing wrong with them. But looking back, yeah, I was stupid.
Huh. So I mean, just so I understand this, just so I'm just want to repeat this back to you, so I got it.
Yeah. Go.
So you were dating a dude.
8 different dudes.
Eight different dudes.
Not at the same time. You know what I mean? Like 8 guys that
every relationship you had 8
relationships
that
were like a week or 2 weeks, and then they cheated and left me.
No, hold on a minute. Back. I gotta get to.
Okay.
8 individual dudes, 8 individual relationships.
If you want to call them relationships,
were they in a row?
Yeah. Not like, like I date this guy, he cheats on me. I look around for another guy, he cheats on me, and then at some point I'm like, whoa.
All right. So let me ask you, and this is one of those personal questions that
go for it. I don't care.
The guys that whatever.
No, I did not sleep with them. I didn't even kiss half of
so
them.
that was it. So here's the thing.
A kid.
Here's the thing, right? So that's and so the next question is this a high school thing, college thing? Where were you at in life?
I would say both. Early, like late high school, early college.
So in that like 17 to 21 range?
17 to 22.
To 22. Okay. All right. Yeah. So here's the thing. That's not you. That's them. They were going to, you didn't do what they wanted and they went and found somebody that would.
No. I don't think it was. I know what you're thinking. Oh, it's because you didn't put out. No, it wasn't even that. Like, we didn't even get to the point where they were even expecting that. It wasn't that. It was me.
I mean, Kat, I know a little something about young men. And young men have very predictable patterns of. Am I fuzzy?
No.
Do I need to focus my camera? I did lock it down though earlier though, I did not move the camera. My glasses are greased. My 3-year-old grabbed my glasses, so I can barely like. There, got greasy 3-year-old fingerprints on them. Is am I hazy, guys? Do I not look? Am I not sharp?
It's good.
I do need to shave my arms, but I'm not gonna. It looks reasonably okay. I'm gonna.
I think maybe it's focused on your hat or something.
Well, Rye Guy is like a video guru. He does all my thumbnails. By the way, shout out to Rye Guy. He does my thumbnails. When he has time, he does my intro videos and stuff. So he's the man, like the man. So I'm gonna. I mean, from what I can see, I don't have a glasses. I'm sorry, I don't have a glasses cleaner handy. Slight fuzz looks fine.
It's fine. They want to see your
I
eyelashes.
can't fix it silently. I can't fix it silently. I have to go. The camera's over there, bro.
It's fine.
All right, I did actually. I turned the autofocus on. Actually, Kat, you talk. I'm gonna turn my autofocus back on. Maybe that'll help.
Okay. I will say that all relationships are immature relationships until you're married, in my opinion. So, yeah. And back then, people didn't expect you to put out, at least not for like a year or something. Even back then, like things are different now, you guys.
A year?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, it was normal. I don't know.
I do think that worked. I think that is better.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. Yeah, it's not. Right, guy. Let me know, man. Did I fix it? I think it does actually look. But even with my messed up glasses, I think I can tell it looks better. I also have the light is I have the temperature a little orange. I don't have a remote. Can't that one doesn't have a remote on it, so I can't do anything about it. So yeah, if you guys like the thumbnails, Right Guy, he's the thumbnail dude. He's awesome. If you have some work, please send it his way. That way it'll keep my price lower. I'm just, and that's the mercenary in me coming out. All right. So, I can agree that probably not every single breakup was because you were, because you didn't, sleep with them or whatever. But
No, I'm going to tell you what it was.
okay.
I was a stage 5 clinger. I was annoying. Yeah, I was annoying. I was just like doing too much. I was doing all the things too soon. I was just too much.
Okay. That now it makes sense. Now we're on the same page.
Yeah. So it was just really weird. Plus the guys that I was dating, like there was one that he said I was his girlfriend. I didn't see him for 2 weeks. Okay, go on. What?
So were the dudes like fuck boys or were you
No. They were all like,
or
okay, yeah.
okay.
Obviously. Right. What do you think I am? You think I'm cool? I was a nerd. So yeah, I was dating nerds. I was a nerd. And I just remember I was dating this one guy. He's like, oh, you're my girlfriend. I was like, oh, that's great. Awesome. Here's my phone number. I got his phone number, but he never called me. He called me one time. He would breathe on the phone. And I'm like, hello? And then he hung up. And then the next thing I know, he's dating some girl from his softball team or something. I don't know.
What is wrong with you people? It's wrong. I don't understand this. This is what is going on over there? Is this in Florida?
Miami. So I
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
I
okay,
don't know.
okay.
Miami has a reputation now because of like those crazy podcasts, but that's the ghetto. I
Uh-huh.
was not in the ghetto. I was around
I
nerds.
100% think that you're in a very nice neighborhood. I just think that Florida Man exists in all of Florida.
Well, of course.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Florida's
So
actually huge.
so I had the opposite side of that. So I remember of course I went to a military school, so I didn't have a girlfriend until so I had a girlfriend pre-military school. Like I was like, freshman, high school, how's my girlfriend? Yay. And that was nothing. Then I didn't really date anybody because I was in military school. I
Mhm.
was out there doing stupid stuff for no damn good reason. But I learned a lot. And so I get out of high school. Well, actually, let me back up. So I was given the option uh, to go to the local public high school for the last semester of the year, the last half of the year, from January to May, as a way of kind of acclimating back because I'd literally been there since like my sophomore year. Like I didn't know, and I spent most of my time there. Spent most of my summers there. I was uh, I was highly trained to be highly trained, but I hadn't talked to like a girl other than on my weekends home for like 3 years, right? And it was interesting. It was an interesting time. And so I go back and so they're not first of all, the girls were not used to people who like actually dressed reasonably well, talked like a human, and didn't slouch. They were like, they didn't know what to think of me at all. At all. And so I was kind of the mystery kid for like 12 weeks, and then I was gone. And then I dated a couple of girls, but I didn't really get cheated on like hardcore until midway through my freshman year of college. And I was like, yeah, you know what? This girl, yeah, she's all right. But she was not.
They
And then
never are.
she was not all right. And then I dated this girl. This is kind of funny that so I'm pretty, I'm a pretty analytical guy. I can look at things and I figure things out. And it's really hard to lie to me or be deceptive because my mind just notes all the little inconsistencies and eventually it spits out the right answer, right? Like it's just the way it works. So I was dating this girl and she was like, she had like super boundaries, like what we call boundaries today. We didn't call them that back then. It was just, she was weird. And so what would happen is that if I got like a night off from work, I mean, I don't know if you had this college experience. If I got a night off from work, I'd call her up and be like, hey, I got the night off. Let's go do whatever. And she'd be like, no, I can't. I'm busy. Got stuff going on. All right, cool. If she got a night off work or whatever, if her plans changed, she'd call me up. What are you doing? I'm like, I was going to go hang out with my buddy and go fishing. Oh, no, we're going over here. Do you want to go? And of course, being a dude, I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? I don't really who cares? And it really, after a while, it kind of bugged me that it was all so one-sided that none of her plans were flexible at all. I couldn't figure it out. And I was like, and it just slowly built that maybe she was seeing somebody else. Maybe I was the dude that she was cheating on a dude with, right? Like, I'm starting to think like, what's going on here? So finally, I kind of cornered her on it, right? And I'm like, hey, just look, I'm not gonna be mad or anything, but what's the deal? And she gave me all of the excuses. You name an excuse, she gave it to me. She's busy, high class load, homework, computer lab closes early, you guys don't remember that. You got laptops now, but back in the old days, we had to go to computer lab to do our homework and all of this stuff. And I'm like, man, I'm not buying any of that. Just give it to me, you know, like I'm just going to walk away. And I would have had to walk because I don't think I even had a car at that point. And I mean, like I'm done. I'm like I can't even talk to you. I mean, this is weird. This is fucked up. And finally, she says, "All right, look, I'm bisexual. I have a girlfriend. I keep it separate." And I'm like, "The fuck?" Like,
Is that like just as terrifying as if your boyfriend tells you he's also with a dude?
I don't know. But I was like, so then I'm like, well, we're done. Right? Like we're done. We're absolutely done. And I couldn't even I couldn't process it completely. Right? And then of course all my dude friends were like, "Oh, you didn't date her and her friend?" I'm like, "No, man. I mean, she likes the way I look. I mean, I would make I'd make an ugly girl. I don't want to date." Her taste in women wants to look like me. That's bad. That's so bad. And yeah, it was I just couldn't get over it. But yeah, she was like, so that was cool. That was a college treat. I think that's a yike.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's pretty interesting. And then I dated this other girl for a while, and she was just nuts. Which I think you can pretty much categorize the girls I dated in college as nuts or completely nuts, and it's just a scale of how bad they were going to key your car. And and so after so this is like, of course, I'm a freshman in college, and I didn't do the normal, like all the fluff classes. I had like advanced chemistry, I had physics, microbiology. I was taking like some serious, like I had a pretty serious schedule. I'm like, this is nuts. Like this is nuts. And I don't have time to have like actual relationships. So mostly it was just going out, hanging out, going to parties with chicks and all that kind of thing. And you meet a lot of psychos that way. And every now and again, I date one for a few weeks, and they didn't really get a chance to cheat on me because I was not available. I would just break up with them, or they would just call me up and be like, "Hey, yeah, dude, I'm moving on." I'd be like, "Yeah, all right, yeah, whatever." And then I dated a couple other girls, but I never really had anyone like cheat on me, like really hardcore, hiding things, sneaking around, all of that. Now I've watched it happen to so many people, dudes, chicks, it doesn't matter. And I'm always really interested in how this works out in the back of their head. I'm always like, what do you think is going to happen? Right? Like at some point it's going to come out. Like,
Yeah.
it just is, right? And so my strategy, so after and I've said this before, I'm very open and honest about it. I would just rather have broken up with the girl and be a free agent. If I found somebody I wanted to date more, I would just break up with her and just go be a free agent. It just didn't seem to be the way of the world it just didn't seem to be the right thing to do, to sit there and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm all into you, huh? But oh no, not this week. I'm seeing this other chick." That's crazy. So I don't know. So I guess I understand it, but I don't understand it. What I really don't understand is that I've noticed that it is often the very pretty girls that get cheated on.
I have a theory.
Oh, okay. I'm
Okay.
interested.
This is the thing. And this is my first, I want to call him real boyfriend. Like we made out, like real boyfriend. He was my best friend for 4 years. He never kissed anyone, nothing. He was a good boy, Catholic school, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm trying to get him girls. I'm trying to introduce him to my friends. Nobody wants him. I'm like, he's a great guy. What's wrong with everybody? And then my best female friend passed away. So I was really sad. And he was there every single day. He would drive from school to my house and I would just cry on him. And then he would leave and come the next day. It was so sweet. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to date him. He didn't have much of a choice. So I'm dating him. But I mean,
You just like informed him.
yeah, I'm just
You
like, I
present
think
him
we
with a
should date.
contract. Did you? Was there a legal obligation involved or anything like that?
I don't know. So anyway, so we're dating and I think everything is fine. Right? And about like a year in, his dad, we were together like for 6 years. His dad, not a year in, like towards the end, his dad's and his mom started having problems. His mom started saying, like going through menopause and started threatening the dad, like, you're going to cheat on me with this woman at work and blah, blah, blah. Cause he worked the night shift or someplace. And there was this woman that was working with him and she was very like jealous and hyper like alert about this particular woman. And he kept telling her, no, nothing's going on, blah, blah, blah. But she would show up all the time at his work and like give dirty looks to this woman and all that stuff. And then finally he had to, this is what he said, because it could be a lie. Of course. He would say, oh, well, you know, she would come and look at this girl and I had to give the girl a reason. I had to tell her my wife is jealous and blah, blah, blah. And because of that, we developed a connection. You know how that goes, right? So he ends up leaving his wife and moving in with this single mom that he met at work. And my boyfriend is seeing his parents going through this. He's devastated. And his dad would come and sit him down and say, son, don't marry the first girl that you meet. It's going to ruin your life. Blah, 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 all this toxic crap. So then what does he do? Starts cheating. I don't know. I have no idea. He's cheating on me. Not 1, not 2, not 10, not 20. And the worst part was that all the people who was cheating on me with were jealous of me. So they didn't like him. They just wanted to hurt me. That's what it was. I have a letter from what I thought was a friend. She came over to his house for like a party or something. And then I saw her slip a note shaped in a little heart under his pillow. Naturally, I took the note.
That's ballsy.
Yeah, I
That's
took the
ballsy.
note. I still have the note. I might read it on my podcast one day. But basically, she's like, oh, Kat's so stupid. You know, we should go out on a date. You know, you shouldn't waste your time with her. And I really like you and you're really cute. She knew him for years before she said he was ugly. This is not about him. This is about, I want to hurt her.
Sure.
And that's it. And that's what they would do. Like anytime like a girl saw me, they'd be like feeling self-conscious. They thought I was cuter than, or they were more overweight, or there was something wrong and they were just jealous. And they would tell my boyfriend things like, you know, she doesn't really like you. Like you guys look like the number 10 walking around. He was overweight, whatever. And I was really thin, like ridiculously. I was like, I don't know, 87 pounds. And he was like 6'2" and big. And I'm 5 feet and thin and tiny. And so they would just make fun of him and say, like, she's going to leave you. What's the point? Just go with somebody else, blah, blah. And then they finally got to him. He started cheating. By the end, I caught like emails, a whole bunch of them. And I sent them to myself. I read them all. Terrible, terrible. And then actually I had a dream about it with the girl's name. And my mom came into my room. I'm like screaming, crying. And she's like, what is it? Oh, he's cheating on me with a girl with this name. She calls him up and says, are you cheating on my daughter with a girl with this name? And then he's like, no, but she's here right now. How does she know that?
Wow.
And she's just my friend, whatever. And I caught emails of him and this girl with the name that I had in my dream, and super creepy. But yeah. So he did that to me. And then, you know, I took 2 years where I didn't date anyone. I mean, I would meet people, but like, I just one date, nice to meet you, never see them again type of thing. Like nothing was like, because I was probably so depressed, you know, like when you have someone like that was your best friend and then you've been dating them for 6 years, pivotal moment in your life. So I was very depressed for 2 years, cried myself to sleep every single night, which is why I think girls should not waste that many years on anybody who's not their husband. That's insanity. But of course, I didn't have, parents to tell me that. My friends were all degenerates. They're not going to tell me, like, who did I have? Nobody. So I'm doing
Right.
this stupid stuff because nobody's there to tell me otherwise. Anyways, so 2 years, whatever. After that, I find another guy. Now, he's definitely not sexual, whatever. I think, because he wants to wait for marriage. No.
Okay.
He's not. He's a on the side with I don't know what sex. I found some stuff in his computer. But anyways, not good. So another traumatic thing. Cheating. Also, he was cheating. He was cheating on me in such a sad way. Like I caught him messaging girls on MySpace and saying
Well, that takes me
really
back.
simpy stuff, like really simpy, sad stuff. And that they were just trying to get money from him, and it was super sad. Ugh. And then whatever. So that ends. And then I meet my husband and we're good. But
Okay.
definitely don't cheat on people. Cheating is horrible. 2 years of not dating, crying every day because of one idiot. And now when I look back at it, I'm like, oh, that's so embarrassing. How embarrassing is that? But
I don't know. I used to have one of the interesting things about being the guy that all the girls talk to and stuff, and having maybe a little bit more self-confidence than the average jackwagon. I've heard so many stories that just don't make any sense.
Like what?
Well, so all right, so I've always had I never had women friends, but I very easily move between women's groups because first of all, I have a lot of self-confidence. I know how to talk relatively eloquently, and generically, I'm not interested. I just don't have any interest in them. And there's nothing that makes a woman more interested than when you're not interested in them. They just, for whatever reason, can't take it, and they want to keep you around for some stupid reason. I don't know, but so a lot of these were either people that, I know obviously I had people that I managed when I was a manager, and as I had different careers, I was, I had friends. So I had a friend who so he bought, him and 3 other dudes were stationed in Okinawa. They met Japanese women. At least 3 of them married Japanese women and brought them back to the States. There may have been all 4 married Japanese women brought them back to the States. Everything's great. Everybody's happy. This is, by the way, why women, what you were talking about just then, women are just horrible to each other. I don't know. I don't know why that is.
Jealousy, competition,
Yeah.
the most competitive sex, gender ever.
Yeah, all of it. So so my buddy, he redeploys, and I think he was in Germany then, right? But he had been home for a while. I mean, it's not like he brought her home and dumped her off, and then 2 days later he left. I mean, he was, they had a nice house, car. She had access to all the checking account, credit cards, everything. She was set. Now, all of these friends, these Japanese girls, 2 of them were, as near as I can tell, they were great, really honest wife material type girls. But one of them was an evil whore. And she did not like the fact that she was married to an enlisted dude. And she wanted an officer. And so she would, while their men were deployed, this girl was constantly trying to get the other two girls to go with her to the officers club, to go to, go with her on these various locations to meet men. And I'm unclear as to whether or not the dude's wife actually cheated, but she left his ass. He got home so this other girl, the bad girl who definitely was cheating, convinced both of the other girls to stop paying their mortgages for months. They didn't pay any they charged up the credit cards, did not pay them, kept all of the money that was coming in, they kept it. They basically, they amassed a pretty decent chunk of money, and he just left. The day my buddy literally landed, got in from Germany, went to use his debit card to buy something, and it declined. So he logs into his bank account, it's empty, completely empty. It all happened while she had emptied the bank account while he was on the plane from Germany, when he, because no Wi-Fi. He gets home and he finds all this out, finds a foreclosure notice on the front of the house, all of this stuff. It's unclear to me whether she actually cheated, because Mobo never told me whether she actually cheated on him or not. But she acted awfully guilty. And that was the end of that. And that's crazy. That is like horrible. It's psychopathic. But dudes are almost as bad. So I have a friend of mine. She's actually really cool. I'd like to get her on the show sometime. She's done so many different things in her life. She's a graphic artist. She does music. She plays bass. She has driven race cars. She's a stunt driver. She's a licensed stunt driver, or stunt person, stunt woman, whatever. She instructs. She's a driving instructor for performance racing, specifically with Audi. She did a lot with Audi, and she's just been really, really, like, she's a high performer. She's in California, and she worked on Trump's campaign in California. So that's baller. That's straight thumbs up. Well, she was dating a friend of mine, not a friend of mine. She was dating a guy that I know of. He's a racer. He's a driver. He hasn't had the best career, but he's had a career, right? Like it's a lot of hustle to be a race car driver and to stay in the industry if you're not wealthy. So, but he hustled and he's been in it and all of that. So they start dating, and they date for about 2 years. And she calls herself a good Christian gal, right? And so, but they've been dating for over a year. So I'm assuming carnal knowledge. She kind of let it go that way, or let me to believe that happened. And so they had this huge breakup, and I was pretty shocked. I was like, I thought things were going like really well. Like, what's the deal? What's going on here? Well, he had an ex-wife, and he had a daughter. The daughter, I think, stayed with him like most of the time, because like most California women, the ex-wife was like no good at all, like horrible. And so my friend got really attached to this daughter, and she kind of figured something was kind of weird, but didn't really understand what was, it was like, nobody ever gave her any answers, right? But there were all of these little things, like there was all these things like money not in the account where it should be, and disappear for a few hours, and they had trackers on each other's phone. I don't know why people do that, but they had like
I do it.
Do you really?
Yes, I track everyone. I need my brother, my mom, my husband, my daughter, everybody I know.
Psycho, bro. Anyway, so she starts kind of like thinking maybe he's cheating. So she confronts him about it, and it's worse. He's actually going to hookers and Asian massage parlors and getting a rub and tug. While he has I'm not going to say smoking hot, but she is an attractive, very fit, by the way. Like she bikes, skis, runs, all of that. She's like super fit. Like, she's getting a little older, so I'm sure that she's unhappy right now about not being married. And, this guy's one of the reasons why, but, and being in California. But so they have a huge fight about it. He promises, "Oh, I'm sorry, never happened again, blah, blah, blah." And she catches him again. And that was it. It was thermonuclear warfare, melt everything down. She's out. And we had like a 5-hour conversation about it one day, because apparently I can talk to people pretty easily. And I have reasonably decent advice. And she kind of like, she's like, "Hey, what do you think?" and all this stuff. And he's like, of course her reference point for me giving decent advice was the fact that everything I told her about business and starting a career and staying in racing had panned out. Like I was accurate. And everything I don't say things just to say them. And so dude was going around like all the time, like every city he went to, every time he went coaching and all this. And this dude had a lot to lose. Like he's at the time, I think he was working with Corsa, which is a Ferrari's race training division. If you buy like specific Ferraris, you receive instruction, and he was part of that. And it's a pretty good gig, and it's pretty like, you got to be a good guy, and Italian, go figure. And and I think he was racing the Ferrari Challenge or something. I don't know, but he would just go out for no real reason, just randomly go out and find a hooker. That's the craziest thing I'd ever heard in my life. Why would you do that? That is ridiculous. That is dumb. That is just dumb. I can't believe that somebody would do that.
Well, you know what I think about that?
Well, I know. I'm waiting for you to tell me.
Demons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The guy is definitely like, I'm not saying he's possessed, but dude, definitely.
I am
hitting a church.
How do you do those things if you're not?
It's just a lifetime of bad decisions.
Just you let the bad decisions into you. That's what they are.
True. I go with that.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of another cheating thing. Oh, probably shouldn't talk about other people's information. It's a little weird.
Yeah. As long as it's not beating cheeks, because
no.
Probably
he can't cheat on anyone. He has no committed relationship in forever.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Anyways, but yeah,
Flynn agrees with you.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I think it is. I'm convinced that's what it is.
Yeah.
Also, like, looking at the corn on the internet, all that stuff. I think that's what that is. It's you let something in, and you're just acting it out, like you've lost control.
Okay.
But anyways, so yeah, I have a friend that, an acquaintance that I've known, and for some reason, whenever shit gets bad with people, they call me. Like anyone's depressed, anyone's going through something, they call me, and I'm more than happy because, like, I enjoy it. I enjoy helping people if they're going through something.
Yeah, you're bored. You're a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, I'm a stay-at-home mom. What are we gonna do?
What have you got to do?
They know that I'm free.
So, I know right where you are.
Yeah.
I don't need a tracker because you don't go more than 30 feet out of your way.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah. And so anyway, so my friend calls me and she's like, "Oh, well, I think I'm gonna like cheat on my husband. Like I can't take it anymore. There's this guy, he's super good looking, blah, blah, blah. And my husband's making me work and he's giving all the money that I make to like a business that's going under, and I'm just like stressed out. I'm working like 75 hours a week, and all that money goes out to this business that's falling apart, and I'm supporting that. And he keeps telling me that it's going to eventually pan out. It's been 5 years. I can't take it anymore. So these are the type of calls that I get. So it's very like, yeah, that, I mean, I can understand her being frustrated and wanting to, because from my point of view, I think women cheat when they're trying to leave. Like they can't just leave and be alone, because maybe it's like an instinctual thing. Like if you're single and alone, then you're like vulnerable. That's my guess. But anyway, so she's trying to like jump ship to another guy, and she's telling me all this stuff. And she eventually did one time. And then she told her husband, I said, you got to tell him, just see what happens. She told him, he forgave her. Then they had a joint account, like on social media. Like everything, you know, those couples where everything is joint accounts.
I've seen that.
Yeah, that's why. Always 100% somebody cheated. So anyway, so all their socials, joint accounts. And then, yeah, she just, I guess she realized she was wrong, that the guy that she thought, you know, she could jump ship to just used her for like fun. And then she realized, oh my gosh, like that's even worse than my situation now. I need to fix this situation. And she gained a lot of weight because of the stress.
Oh yeah, stress
And
eating.
yeah, stress eating because she feels guilty. And she's still working like another 5 years later, all this money going to some fledgling business. And she just thinks it's crazy. But at the same time, she's like, this is my husband. You know, I have to be with him and whatever. And eventually she's hoping that he's going to like stop wasting all the money. I told her just to quit, just to say you can't work and let his business go under. I mean, what would you do in that case? Because I can understand how stressed out she is, that she just wants to get out and like take a break, because 75 hours a week, because it's her own business. So she has to work much harder than if she was like at a salaried position.
I would not have good advice on this one. Because well, one thing is that I don't want to work with my wife. That is just a recipe for me being supremely unhappy. Like,
Oh, well, no, they
really,
don't work together. She has
they don't
her
work
own
together.
business, and all her
I see.
profit goes to his family's failing business, and he has a salary job.
Oh, his family's failing business. Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
See,
I mean,
like life is more complicated than what people tell you on the internet. Oh, she's just this, or he's just that. I mean, everything's more nuanced. There's so many little things that you have to like consider when people do stuff like this. It's some of them are just degenerates, yes, but some of them are just stressed out and stupid.
it's an interesting thing because, you know, I don't know. I wouldn't want to be the guy to give advice to either of them, but cheating is just never the answer, right? Like, I don't understand. And I guess this is just a weirdness, probably just a weirdness about me, right? Like, I don't see any upside to cheating. I don't see there's no, like, there's nothing I gain, right? Like, I'm already having, I'm already having sex with person A. Having sex with person B doesn't really gain me anything. And I don't necessarily have to have sex with someone to have a great time. So I'm not really sure to me, that I don't see where there's any upside. Now, the problem is there's a lot of downside. First of all, I will feel like a piece of shit. I don't like feeling like a piece of shit, so I don't do it. Like, I don't lie because I don't want to feel like a piece of shit. It takes too much energy to lie. It's waste of time. Lying is just stupid. Just easier, more painless. Just tell the truth right out of the gate. But so, and you know, I don't, you know, there are things that I will do that are kind of questionable, but for the most part, I don't do things that make me feel like a piece of shit. If you're doing something, even if it makes you feel good for this long, but you know that you're going to feel like a piece of shit, why do it? I see the problem is I can't get to that mentality. I can't get there. I've never been able to understand the idea of cheating. It's always been more practical to me to just break up. Just say, hey, you know what? We had a good run. I don't hate you. You're cool and you're just smoking hot, but I just don't even want to share a conversation with you anymore. And I'm sorry, I got to go. Why can't people just say that? How hard is that?
Well,
You
because
can even be funny about it. You could get like a little card and be like, hey, we're breaking up. Sorry. See ya. You know, I mean, what?
no, not
You
that.
can't do that? Oh, I
Don't
think you
send
can
them
do
the
that.
card.
Yeah. All right. But maybe we'll draw the line just behind the card. But I
Yeah.
mean, what's wrong with that? I mean, okay, now the argument can be made, and and I've heard this argument before that if I try and leave this person, they will go insane. I have to cheat because if I don't cheat, I am terminally unhappy in this relationship. But if I try and leave the relationship, I'm afraid of what will happen.
Yeah,
I've heard that one
a
before.
lot of people cheat as a way, like, to get the other person to find out that they cheated, so then the other person will
Yeah,
leave them.
that's the way men cheat.
Yeah.
That's 100% the way men cheat.
Yeah, I know about that. It's like, I'm with someone else now. Oh,
Men will
okay.
literally leave the matchbook from the bar on your pillow. Like, I was here. Why was I here? Yeah, okay. All right. And then if that doesn't do it, you know, there's pictures, we'll send you video, whatever, to just, you know, so you get the idea that, hey, I don't want to be here anymore. Can you please self eject? That's really what we're talking about. When a lot of times when men cheat, they just want you to self eject.
Mhm.
They don't want to be the bad guy. They don't want to, or they're happy enough to be the bad guy, but they don't want to be the bad guy that started this process of you
Which is
crying.
crazy. I think this is from, like, my friends that I know have done that to get the girlfriends to break up with them. They always do that so they can tell the next girl, "Oh, she just left me. I didn't break up." Or they usually say she cheated on me when he cheated on them,
Yeah,
so that they
right.
would.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
Yeah,
I
I
see
don't
what
know.
you're doing.
I got it. I just I don't get the plus side of cheating.
Well, cheating is terrible. It's absolutely
What does
psychopathic.
it do? What do you think it does to people's soul?
Well, I don't think you have a soul at that point. It's not yours.
I mean,
I don't know.
they got to start out somewhere, right? So they probably start out as good people, or maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm taking some artistic license. I'm taking a little autistic license there. It's okay. But what do you think it does to your mentality? If you're
Well,
just if you just knowingly, like, you know, let's take out that like 0.0000001% of people who actually just fell in love with the wrong person. It's been over for years, and then they meet somebody that just blows their socks up, and they're totally in love with the new person. And if there's and as soon as there's a clean way, they're going to get out of the first one.
mm,
I did say autistic license. It's
mm.
a thing I say all the time. I'm taking a little autistic license. It's a play on artistic license because it's really not artistic at all. It's actually really dysfunctional. So, but let's just take that one that like infantile 1.0 of whatever percent of people who actually just want to be in a different relationship, fell in love, can't help it, whatever. And let's talk about the rest of the people who are doing it for whatever reason, because they think they can get away with it. All right, so we can define the reasons that men do it. Is sometimes it's because they think they can get away with it, but that's largely inaccurate. I think that men that cheat because they think they can get away with it, what they're actually saying to you is that I just don't care how you feel about it, so fuck off, and I'm just going to do what I want.
Yeah.
So it's not that they think they can get away with it; they just don't care if you find out. That's totally different. The ones that are cheating because they don't have a nutsack large enough to just stand up and say, "Hey, get out of my face! I never want to see you again. I don't want to share air with you." Right? What goes through those guys' brains? And men also cheat because they're stupid and they get drunk, they get talked into something, and they just literally, they're fucking stupid.
Do you think, okay, what do you think constitutes cheating? Because I'm going to tell you my things.
Okay, that's great. We probably should have started there.
Yeah. Okay.
Whatever.
I'm very
Here's
strict.
Here we're not I don't have a write up tonight, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't have time. Then you have a narcissist. So to me, cheating is intentionally going out and either replacing or supplementing affection with someone else other than the person that you are in a relationship with.
Okay. Let me give you like a rundown of different scenarios and you tell me cheating or not cheating.
Okay.
Okay. Your work wife.
Work wife?
Work wife. You've heard of the term work wife, right? Or work husband. One of your coworkers or someone at work that you're like extra buddy with. Tell each other everything.
I actually, that's borderline because it's an emotional. So I honestly, I had a whole discussion years ago. It's probably going to ruin your whole thing. I had a discussion years ago with somebody. It really made a lot of sense to me that the act of sex alone was largely irrelevant to him. What really mattered to him was if they were going out, if they were being seen in public, if they were presenting themselves as boyfriend, girlfriend, or, sometimes man and wife. And in his point of view, he's a very smart man. In his point of view, they're both cheating, but the second one is like absolute rock solid cheating, even if they don't actually have sex. But if they're acting like they're in a relationship, if they're holding themselves out as this couple and supplementing or supplanting, not supplementing, that's a totally different word, supplanting the affection that man or woman would give to their husband or wife, that's cheating. Even if no bodily fluids exchange.
So I'm going to tell you a story. So when I was very young and I had met my husband, but he was like, oh, I can't see you for a couple months because I'm in school, blah, blah, blah. So we weren't really, dating that much, but I liked him. There was a guy in my office he was an older dude. I was like just graduated from college, first job. And he was married and he was the only straight guy in the building. So I would ask him stuff like, okay, like, he said this and this, what do I say back? And blah, 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 like get advice for dating from him. And unbeknownst to me, his wife was jealous of me, calling me his work wife. And like, there's this whole thing going on. While here, I'm just stupid and trying to get tips from the only straight guy that's in my vicinity because I can't ask my dad this stuff. That's creepy as hell. So this was and this was the only person I knew that was married, like somewhat close enough in my age. So anyway, so I found that out later. And then I realized looking back that like he would say things negative about his wife to me. And it didn't register to me at all because like I was stupid or something. And I'd be like, oh yeah, whatever. But I would always take her side, just like, you know, trying to like, I don't know, be nice or whatever, or just like give another point of view that he could see. But then looking back, I'm like, he was trying to basically let me know that there was like some holes in there if I wanted to come on in and take him. You know what I mean? Like it was really like creepy, but whatever. I mean, obviously nothing happened. And I told my husband about all those little things, and he was like, oh yeah, he definitely wanted you. And I was like, oh,
Right.
oops. How the hell do I know? And then I remember like we never touched, we never hugged, not even a high five, like nothing. One time I was cold like this, and like he hugged me and I pushed him and I looked at him like, oh, disgusting. Like, don't you ever touch me, you old creepy man. But
I
like,
resemble that remark. You gotta be careful, you know. Let's tone down the disrespect.
what? He was younger than us now.
The interesting thing is that I 100% see that. I mean, I tell people this all the time. I really feel like that. That's one of the reasons I maintain that men and women cannot be friends. You
No,
know,
I think they can be.
associates.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know. I don't know. I think
But
like I could be. But I'm not
everybody
gonna like
thinks
hang
they
out
could
with
be.
anyone alone. I'm not gonna go on dates with them. I'm not gonna go to a restaurant. I'm not gonna go to like, you know, things where bad stuff can happen. I don't like, but talk on the phone if you need advice. I'm here. If like you want to like message me, like this is going on, what should I do? I'm here. Need someone to
Mhm.
talk to, whatever. I'm here.
Mhm.
Like you can be that kind of friend. But I think the line is when you're talking bad about your significant other to another woman. That's one. Don't you do that. Or if you're like flirting in any way, like if you're saying another woman is pretty or cute or whatever, like it's creepy. Or if you're like touching, like hugging, I don't like that. Like I have some male friends, they know they can't. Is that kind of rude? I don't know, because we're Latin, so they're like, oh, let me kiss the sides of your cheeks. I'm like, no, I don't like that, because like I don't like being touched by people that like are not my husband. It's weird.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's weird at all. I actually probably think my wife feels the same way. Like, just don't touch me.
Yeah,
I think that most, and this is what okay, so there's a couple of things to unpack there. First, since men and women work together, so I should say that I've never really felt like that men and women should work together.
I don't think women should work
Way
in the
I know you
house.
don't.
That's enough.
Way too much. There's way too much time spent together that I just don't think it's a good idea. So I don't think men and women should work together like closely. I guess, but our society's, you know, to the point where that happens literally every day, and this is where people cheat. This is where people fall off the wagon, so to speak. This is where, you know, a lot of the problems that we are trying to solve could be very easily solved in one action, and that is just go back to where women and men had very limited association with each other. You saw each other at church, school
Yeah.
functions when the kids, you know,
I
and
mean,
maybe
I
on
think that
Sunday
makes
dinner.
sense. Yeah, if you're a single woman, work, maybe you'll find a husband while you're at work. I think that's
Right,
fine. But once you
right.
get married, I think there should be more of a stigma, like stay home. Because also, like some women go to me, I'll have a nanny. I'm like, you're gonna have another woman around your husband?
Right,
What?
right. And that's actually a good point. So, you know, my wife works, but you know, it was one of those things where as my career had peaked and I was, you know, I was on kind of the backside of my career, hers had just really gotten started, right? Because she had a 9 to 5 job so that she could take care of our kid. Like she didn't work like I were. Like I was gone all the time. Like you couldn't have a job like that. And she didn't, and you know, then she had the maternity leave, and then she really didn't. You know, she went to the office like a couple of days a week after that, to be honest with you. But she was in a position to do that. And I might be stretching it a little bit, but not by much. And so, and now, our kids are older. She can go do whatever, she has the ability to kind of do whatever she wants or needs to. But it's only in those very specific circumstances, right? Like, it's not like and obviously her culture is such that that's a normal thing. But it's an interesting deal here, my opinion, that I just don't think men and women should work together. Now, if you want to have, like, when the telephone company used to be basically all women, right? The electric department, there's like one dude that works in there at the office. I go in there and pay my bill sometimes, or I have to set up an account or something. It's one guy. The DMV, it's like two guys. But they're all women. That's probably the way that's probably kind of the way it is, right? But even then, I think that we have a real problem. Yeah, I have a real problem with this stuff, and it's just because we're so casually together so much, and people get a little too comfortable around each other. Unless I don't know about you. In my wife's case, she's very clear. She's married, not interested. Boundaries are boundaries. Don't touch her. Don't buy her drink. She when she goes, she'll have to go to a company function or something, and she'll have one drink. That's it. Done. Like, she doesn't, and so I think that there's a way to, and that's actually a lot of women's excuse. Well, I had to go to the company party, and next thing I knew, I had like 10 shots of whatever, and I drank 2 of these, and I just didn't know what I was doing. I was drunk, and I don't buy into that shit. You are in control of your, so,
Mm-hmm.
it's but I also think, well, I don't know. It's an interesting discussion, cheating, right? Because there's so many sides and aspects to it. Even
Oh, I have
defining.
another one.
Okay, good.
The texting, like say a client or coworker or something, little hearts or kissy emojis. I think that's cheating.
I don't know if it's cheating, but it's for sure flirting, and that crosses a line too. I don't like flirting. I don't like flirting. And I don't understand why women find that to just be funny and very casual. I mean, in the olden days, when men actually got into fist fights, you touch another man's woman, it's on like Donkey Kong. I mean, it's going to be, you're going to be breaking furniture and throwing people out windows and shit. Now, dudes like come over and kiss your woman right on the damn lips, and dude just goes, all right, okay. Like, what the fuck is this shit? This is nuts. Why would I do that? Why? Who thinks that's okay? Right? Like, and that's, I think, one of the reasons why I have limited exposure to the people in my wife's community, because I'm way too raw for those folks. Way. So, yeah, that's funny. Here we go. I don't know. Right. You're a music fan?
Don't know that.
You don't know Give Me 3 Steps?
No.
Oh my gosh. Well, now you've got homework.
All right, I'll look into it.
Yeah. Leonard Skinner, 3 steps. Give me 3 steps towards the door. You'll never see me no more.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, okay, how about this? How about is this cheating, the scenario? Mm-hmm. You are working for a company, you go to some, what's it called? What are those things that they have? Those seminars, like in a different city, and you have to stay there for the seminar. And a single girl goes, "Oh, let's go get something to eat, or let's go to the bar and get a drink." Is that cheating?
I wouldn't know because I've never done that.
Imagine.
I'm trying, but I wouldn't, because I would be like, oh yeah, me and Bob and Larry we're all gonna go. Come on with us, you know?
No, just a girl, nobody else.
That's what I'm saying. It would never happen, because I would literally, if she said, "Oh, hey, let's go get something to eat," I'd be like, "Yeah, okay, cool. These 3 guys are going with us. We'll all go," you know, because it's I don't do that. I don't think I really don't. I have a hard time with this because I do not. Look, I don't go places with unmarried women ever. I tend not to go places with women ever by myself, ever. Anyone. I just don't do it. It's a bad idea. I think I told you, I don't know if I told you this, but a couple of shows ago, I mentioned that my friend, we have our sons are in Scouts together. And I mean, the husband, who I've known for 5 years, I've known his wife for the same amount of time. She came over and cleaned up my rental property. When we were setting it up. He's like, "Is it okay if I have my wife call you?" Because a lot of men in our community, a woman does not just ring up a dude. Like that would like honestly, if some woman called me randomly, like, all right, let's just say one of the other scouts' mom called me randomly, I would the next time I was if I had her husband's number, I would call her husband and say, "Hey, your wife called me. Do you know what it was about or anything?" If I didn't have his number, which is, I don't have them all, the very next time we had Scouts, next time I saw that dude, I'd be like, "Hey man, your wife gave me a call. This is what it was about. You okay with that? You know about it? All that kind of stuff." Why would you not do that? This is just common courtesy. This is just like just don't do things that are stupid.
Well, I think like the women would say, "Oh, why do you have to call him and let him know that I'm going to call? What, do you own me?" Because that's how women are now. Do you own me?
Like in certain aspects, yes. I mean, in certain aspects, yes. You are not allowed. I mean, the marriage vows that most people take, honor and obey. Well, actually, I think they wrote that out of a lot of them. Not mine. Not mine. But yeah, not to honor and obey. I mean, you know, it's a big deal. You know, and how can you can't do one without the other, and you can't honor your husband if you're going around talking to other men. That does not bring honor to your house. That does not. So so I don't do that. I have longtime friends that are female that if they call, they can only call me. They don't. I've never have anybody come by to just visit. That's a serious. First of all, just coming to my house is a serious boundary anyway. My house is my fortress of solitude. I don't want people here. Don't come here. Second, so no, that would never happen. If I see you out, it's okay to come over and say hi. That's it. Don't invite yourself to dinner. Don't touch my arm. Don't remark about how cool my shirt is. Just don't do that. If you do, I'm going to think you're weird. And the next time I see you, I won't actively avoid you, but I'm not going to be super happy. Right. And I've had this, and I mean, like, I just think men should be men. I don't, and a lot of times it used to be that you don't even, I think it's not that you've, I don't think that women are always to blame, because I think we forget that women are women, and they do silly things. Men do silly things too, but men are expected to be men and have restraint. We do not expect the same kind of restraint out of women most of the time that we do out of men. But we certainly expect it out of men, right? We expect men to be better, to be um I don't even know what the words are right now. I'm sorry, the storm
Mm,
coming back through. And you'll see some lightning probably, which
no.
was cool. Um I just don't understand how we've let ourselves go to the point where nobody cares about any of the interactions at all. And actually, and a lot of people see it as like cool. Hey, my wife went and talked to my boss for me. I would literally have shit a brick if my wife had ever talked to my boss about me. Like, I couldn't even imagine that. I couldn't even imagine it. And it never happened, so I don't have to worry about it. But um
Okay,
the
so let me think of something else, because there was another
yeah.
example. If you had a daughter, or you have a son, so let's just say your son is older, gets a girlfriend. What do you tell him to do when it comes to women? Like, as far as social media etiquette with other girls when he's in a relationship, or whatever, or like talking to other girls, because that has to come from you, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say?
So I've already told my son this is, and it's a shame that you have to actually talk like this to young men. I told my son a while back, I'm like, you can never be alone with little girls. You can especially never be alone with two little girls, because they will lie for each other 100%. And it's a shame that I have that conversation, or I had to have that conversation. But I've told him, I'm like, you can't trust little girls. They will get you in trouble 100%. And even if you have the best of intentions, don't do it. What I'm telling him now is that if he's going to date somebody, that right now all he needs to do is just worry about learning how to be a good friend to a girl, because it's different than being a good friend to a guy. We'll start there, maybe move forward. But at this point, I made fun of him. I mean, like, a lot, because I think shaming works. I made fun of him a lot because he had this school dance at I think I may have told you this. He had a school dance just recently, the middle school middle school dance. And I kept telling him, like, and he had like months to ask someone to go with him. And I kept telling him, you're gonna be Harry Potter. You're gonna be Harry Potter over there with some girl's gonna have to come ask you to go to the dance, and you're just gonna be all like, yeah, okay. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, exactly. So some poor girl took pity on him and got him.
Okay, but let's just say he's older now. He's in his
Let's say he's
older
16.
18, 19, 20, and he's in like a real relationship now.
If he's in a real relationship, what would my advice be specifically about
For
what?
like cheating, like, don't do this. This is cheating. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't
This
do
is
that.
cheating.
Yeah, don't. Well, he knows. I mean, he's watched my wife and I interact, that we don't do things that are just
You
out of
gotta
bounds.
tell them. You can't expect that, because he doesn't see what you do. Like, he doesn't see if you're
Well, we do
liking
talk about it. I mean,
people.
we do talk about it. I mean, it's kind of an interesting I don't know. It's kind of an interesting deal, I guess. We talk about it because I think it's important to I think it's important to just be a good role model, and part of that is if like just explaining the relationship that you have with different people. I explain. I mean, I talk about the relationship I have with my wife. I talk about the relationship I have with the how it works when I go to a business somewhere and interact with those people, and how those people expect me to act. As far as cheating, I'm going to tell him that he should not accept any poor behavior out of a woman, especially, or a girl, that is, where he feels like first of all, he did anything wrong, if he did not, because he's smart enough to know if he did something wrong. So don't accept any of this kind of victim, self-victimization. Don't do that. Don't accept that it's just normal for her to have all of these extra guy friends. It's not normal. Don't accept that. If she wants to have specific guy friends, you need to meet them. You need to know who they are. They need to know who you are. You can't operate in this vacuum of, well, I just trust my girlfriend. Well, sure. Okay. But do you trust her friend Jeff? Because friend Jeff has been working on this project for 10 years, and he's finally gaining ground, So I don't know. I don't know that I really have a set answer for that. That's a good question. What will you tell your daughter? Because I know that, she's probably like dating now.
No, she's 11.
No?
She's
She's 11. I thought she was old.
No, she's a tomboy. She's just like I was at that age. I was playing with Barbies at 14. It's going to take a while. So I think what I would tell her, and I tell her this now, I say, be careful about boys, because now they're doing it very young. Make sure he doesn't watch the corn on, because then he's going to be messed up.
Yeah.
Especially now they're starting like 8, 9 is the average. It's way insane. So I'm like, find out before you date anyone, like how corrupted they have been before you like someone, because
if you can bring them back from that edge.
Because no, you can't, because their brains are like not fixable once they've at that young age that they're doing it now. They're always impotent by the time they're adults. So I tell her stuff like that, which is a crazy thing to tell a kid, but I'm just like, you have to be careful about stuff like that. Like there's bad stuff and it rots their brains, and you can't help someone who's like that. That's not your responsibility to help them.
Okay.
So I say that, and then I say, well, this is something that I've talked to my girlfriends about. Whenever they catch their boyfriends or husbands or whatever liking pictures of like internet hoes and whatever, or like commenting like, thirst trappy stupid things, and then the girl confronts them, they always go, well, I guess I'll delete the app, or well, I guess I can't do anything, I guess I'll never talk to a girl again, I guess I can't leave the house, fine, whatever. And they'll just start like doing that thing, and they always say the same thing, I guess I can't, I'll delete it then, fine, whatever. Why do guys have the same response? It doesn't matter the age. Whenever they get caught doing something like that, that's the response.
I don't know. I think because that's how men handle things. If it's something that's a problem, we just kind of get rid of it, right? Whereas, like, I think that the way women handle those kinds of problems is they'll try and say like, well, it's okay, I'll reduce down, or it's not that big a deal, it's not that big a problem, you're making too much of this, everyone does it. Women have a completely different set of responses. With men, it's just like, okay, I'll just get rid of it, no problem, easy.
No, but I'm saying that in a very toxic way. They say this.
Oh, I understand that
they're not actually going to get rid of it. They're gonna make like.
I understood that part too, but that's the way that men deal with things. So they're like halfway there, right? Like they've got the words, just gotta get the action. I don't know that I agree with the not redeemable past
I'm not saying like if you're like, older and you look at something every now and then. I'm saying we have young kids, their brains are not developed. They're not even going through puberty, looking at stuff. And then it gets more violent. And then they want to do those violent things. And then a young girl that has never done anything can't have that, has her first experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I see that side of it. It's an interesting thing because I think that we've had, so here's my kind of my issue with that take, and I hadn't thought about this until you said that, so it's very interesting. I guess my issue is that we've had types of porn for a very, very long time, and I remember when I was young finding the nudie books, and all of that. And I actually had a really weird experience with a girl once that I don't know that I don't know if I'll repeat the story. I'll tell you probably privately because I don't want to. I don't remember all the facts, but it's an interesting deal. But I don't know that it's the. I don't know that it's necessarily just the porn, but I think it's a conditioning of the porn and the lack of other mental, like lack of reading, lack of reading like actual books and developing a more full, well-rounded idea of what people are and what relationships are. And we also have to remember that a lot of kids, even if they're not latchkey kids, they don't have families that they come home to. They might come home to big brother, big sister, but they're seeing big brother, big sister dating, right? And there may not be, they may not be seeing, I don't know. They may not be seeing, like full on nudity, but every single TV show is literally nothing but sexual tension between two people for half of the TV show. Right?
I
It's not like
mean, well,
it's
we
not like
grew up with
TJ.
that. I don't think that is that bad than what they have now. Now they have.
Oh, I know. I
I
agree.
think
It's not as bad.
I was looking at like the statistics of like what's the most watch in every like like it was city or state or something like that, and it's
Mhm.
most of it's like disgusting incest stuff or stepmother, stepson, weird stuff, and that's what they're pushing, and I feel like they're pushing it on purpose to
Oh yeah,
destroy
I
the
think so.
family. It's definitely to destroy the family.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I agree with that part. I think that I do think that we're seeing ever increasing amounts of depravity. So we're getting away from cheating and we're getting into the depravity of it all. But I agree with that. I mean, I think that that's accurate. I think though, based on what my son's going through right now. Now, obviously, he doesn't go to a public school. That's a little different. I think that where people are getting fucked up really is all the Transformer stuff being pushed. And actually, so there's a really good school here that's they have to test. It's called a magnet school. They have to test into it, but it's free if you get in. And it's the equivalent of a private school, really. It's actually really pretty cool school. I cannot talk. Pretty cool school. It's actually really nice. But the pressure in that school to come out as homosexual is off the charts. Like it's actually a problem. It's a noted problem in the minutes of the school board meeting. Like that's how big a problem it is. And so I would counter the argument of that that it's just corn in and of itself. I think that there's a culture of depravity that we haven't experienced since the Middle Ages, and we're just the only way that we can fight it is not necessarily to say that, because these kids watched corn when they were young, they're just not capable of good relationships. I don't know that that's accurate.
I do believe it is, because the studies that I've seen on it in the podcast where the researchers are talking, they're saying like their brains are so messed up, they can't get off on anything unless it's extreme, like violent or depraved, disgusting acts. Like normal human to human contact is nothing for them. It doesn't even register. And they need to like up it. It becomes a drug, and a little bit doesn't work. They need something new, something new, something new.
Yeah, I think I think there's probably some merit to that. I don't know. I just don't see that in the number of kids that I've come into contact with through various kid organizations, but I could see it. I mean, and I think that, but I guess kind of along the lines of what you were talking about, I guess I don't know that I have put enough thought into this to have an answer beyond what I've already said. I mean, I just don't know that because what I have seen is that I think the real push is adults pushing kids in very specific ways with very specific materials, education, that sort of thing. And that is plumbing the depths of the depravity. Because even if whatever, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. I'm going to stop now. But it's again, I don't know that just the exposure to the corn is the problem, or I mean, it is a problem, but it's not the problem. I think the problem is the level of depravity that's accepted in our society.
I want to tell you a story.
Sure. I like story
time. I was at somebody's office, right? And one of my girlfriends came to meet me, and I went to an iPad that I had. I was going to show her something online, and like porn popped up, and I was like, oh, let me shut it off. Somebody else had it, whatever, like one of the boys had it. And then I told her, oh, like how boys are looking at that stuff. And then she goes to me, no, I don't know what that's like. And then I'm like, wait, so your husband doesn't do that? And she's like, no, never. And I'm like, are you sure? And she's like, yeah, I would know. And then I'm like, wow, I've never even heard of a guy who didn't do that. Imagine like being like 20s, 30s, I don't remember. And that was the first time I even heard of a guy. And I actually believed her.
Okay. That's what I was about. I was going, wait. This is not.
No. She was like super religious in a small town. So is he. And like, they didn't mingle with other kids and stuff. And she was just like, no, we don't do that where I'm from. Like, this is not a thing. How crazy is that? That like that was shocking. The fact that like we even have to question people not doing it. Just like how when I tell people I don't drink and they're like, yeah, I'm sure you do, you liar or whatever.
Right.
Like I get that anything that's like depraved that we think is standard.
So that's an interesting point. It's so the porn thing. I'm not nearly as concerned about the corn thing as I am the other sides of it, and that is who their friends are, what they're telling them, the stories that they make up, and that kind of thing. Because that's where the depravity, watching something on a video, especially to kids these days, they understand that it's not real. They don't buy into it like maybe people. I mean, dude, we believe Buck Rogers was real, so we're you can't judge. Don't judge, but that's
I want to tell you another story. There was a podcast I was watching, and it was I believe it was the Godman, the people. There are these two older Jewish couples that did a bunch of studies on how to have a lasting marriage relationship, what love is, all that stuff. And I think it was them that were talking about, they had one woman who came in and she was like very traumatized of her husband. They had been married for several years, had 4 kids, and she could not orgasm or something like that. And then they found out that the first time that she was a virgin, completely innocent to that stuff, never looked at anything, didn't know what was supposed to happen, details. And her husband had been married before, and then he was an extreme porn addict, right? So he's seeing all these really depraved things, and he had a list of all the depraved things he wanted to do on their wedding night. And this is a young virgin, no idea what's going to happen. It was no romance, whatever. He's just doing all these really crazy things. She has no idea what's going on. She's terrified. And that was their entire sex life. So she would disassociate from her body every single time. And it wasn't until 4 years later where they went to therapy, because he was like, this is weird that you can't orgasm. You can't enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that's going to be everybody in the future. But of course, most of the girls will also be depraved. But like, if anyone stays,
that's psychotic, though. I mean, that's not even.
But they're saying like, this is the norm now. This is how it is.
There's no way it's the norm.
This is what's coming out. And talking to like my younger female friends, they're talking about guys expecting these horrible acts for like a dinner date. Like, oh, I gave you this, you have to do this and this and this to me. And it's just like, I don't know you. We're trying to get to know each other. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see. I guess, again, I live in somewhat rarefied air. I don't mess around with a bunch of that stuff, but I don't see it in the young men that I'm around. It could be happening, but I've heard, I mean, not that I haven't heard very similar stories, not quite your thing there, but I feel like that dude was probably going to be pretty fucked up anyway. And it really sounds like somebody that had been a virgin and just he had never had sex.
No, he had been previously married.
He had been previously married, and he did this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that guy's messed up. There's like something in his brain that's fucked up. That's not that. There's no way. That's just. That's probably why he's previously married, and not.
Yeah.
Actually married. That's pretty nuts, though. I've heard some really weird. I've heard some really weird stuff, but I don't. Again, actually, people just don't tell me about it, because I literally put off the I'm not interested. Don't talk to me about that shit vibe all the time. So, I mean, I don't know. But I mean, you got to look at all the stuff that people are talking about now that are, and what I have found, by the way, is that a lot of the people who talk about this stuff are fucking lying, right? Like, so there was a girl in our friend group. This was probably like, it might have been like 99, 2000-ish. There's a girl in our friend group, and she was like, we're on, we're doing, what was she talking about doing? She was like, they were kind of a BDSM kind of deal, kind of vampy, kind of all this stuff. And she said, oh no, it's just all fun. It's all games. It's like, it's just all this stuff. And I'm like, none of that makes any sense to me. Now, I know that I'm just a poor Tennessee hilljack that, with, just a barely a college education, but all of that seems very fucked up to me. And I just don't want anything to do with it. I mean, she talked about it all the time, and how she had like fangs made. What do they call them? There's a word for them.
Like veneer?
Not a veneer. It's and we'll use veneer, but it's not a veneer. It's there's a word. But anyway, they like fangs made, so she, was more vampy and all that kind of stuff. She's a pretty fucked up chick. She has to have something in her background that is just whack. And what was interesting is that we would talk to her about, hey, let's go to church. Hey, let's go do this. Hey, let's go do that. And she'd be like, oh yeah, we'll go. And then last minute, every single time, she's, oh, I didn't sleep last night. Oh, I got to go out this afternoon. Whatever. There's always a reason why she couldn't go. She just really didn't. Yeah, it was just very strange. Really, really strange. Smell the. We were never really on Cat's exes. We had like a really short little segment on the first string, I guess you would call it, of Kat's boyfriends before she met her husband that cheated on her, like all of them. Very strange. But she was like super clingy. She's mega clingy, and which we all that freaks dudes out right out of the gate. So yeah, I get it, man. Hey, you're all good, man. I kind of wanted to, I'm kind of stumped right now, to be honest with you. She's got me like kind of weird. I got some weird stuff going on. Yeah. So what's the what is the result of cheating?
Traumatized people. And
Obviously,
one person gets traumatized, the other person gets enforced to doing the same behavior over and over and becomes a habit.
Yeah. Are you an advocate for people like instantly breaking up and saying, hey, you don't.
No. I mean, definitely if you have a family, no. But like if you're, just dating, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
Or if you have no kids, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Or if it's like a repeat offender and it's constantly happening and you're like getting traumatized, yeah, you can't fix everybody. You can't help it.
Oh yeah, you can't fix everybody. That's for sure. I can barely fix me, and I know me. So, yeah. All right. So we kind of touched on that subject of what's the, what is cheating? Is it cheating if somebody just like you have that relationship where you're technically being just friendly, but you're kind of not, you kind of gone beyond that. No actual sex, just a lot of affection, a lot of and potentially stealing that affection from the other person's husband or wife.
I got another one.
All right, I like story time. You're okay. Let's go. We're gonna keep going with the story times.
What about when your significant other saves a nude or a partially nude suggestive photo of someone or they know? So it's not just like some celebrity or some internet thought.
Yeah, I don't know. I have not done that. That's a good question. What does the chat think? I want to know what the chat thinks on that one, because that's a good. I have not had. I don't have the experience there. Sorry. Look, I get that people skip room to room, man. I'm not mad at you or anything. You're cool. Yeah. What do you guys think? If you are, let's just say you're going through your new or your significant other, and you've been together for a little while. You're going through the computer or whatever, and there's a nude or partially nude picture of somebody they dated 5 years ago.
Not dated, just know. Like acquaintance.
An acquaintance. Oh yeah, like
acquaintance or like a coworker or something like.
Yeah. Yeah, like the pool boy or something.
But it's not, the picture is public. The picture's on their Instagram, but they saved it.
Oh, it's okay. So what you're saying, all right, that changes the dynamic.
Yeah.
So let's say that you guys are part of a group, social club on Facebook or Instagram, and somebody posts up a picture of them working out or in a bikini or whatever, and one of the people in the relationship saves it and puts it, kind of, up either publicly on their Facebook or Instagram or whatever, or kind of hides it away in the picture file. What do you guys think that is? Is that cheating? Is that kind of leading to cheating? Is that cheating light? What do we got? What do you guys think? It takes a couple of minutes for them to respond because there's a lag on the chat.
Yeah. So I'm talking more about, like, let's say a guy at work, there's a coworker, he follows coworker on Instagram, she posts bikini picture, he saves bikini picture, wife goes, what is this?
Yeah. I think that'd be a little, to me, that's creepy, right? I think that's just kind of creepy. It's just creepy. Like, why would you do that?
I think it shows intent.
You think it shows
lust, intent?
Yeah, I would be a little, that would be a conversation. I don't feel like it's that big. I think that it's I agree with the ZD Den. It's disrespectful. I think that's disrespectful. I'm not ignoring you. I'm paying attention to everything else. Not in good taste, some lustful motive there. My phone is full of awful memes and rocks. Yeah, I know. You awoken the devil, hide the knives. Okay. All right, that's cool. That's cool. So that's an interesting take. I mean, it is, obviously it's a little disrespectful. I would be unhappy, I think.
How would you react to it? Be honest. Not care, pretend you don't care.
I would probably I'd ask my wife, I'm like, hey, what's up with this? And if she said, hey, that's, so-and-so won, something like a game or a match or whatever.
That's not a reason. No.
And I just have it because it was cool and I thought it was cool and whatever. I'd be like, that's a little weird, but whatever. Can you take it down? And she'd probably be like, yeah, I'd take it down. That, because I can't, why it's such an awful reason? Because I can't think of a good one.
Because the problem is I'm just not good reason.
I'm just not depraved. I'm just not depraved enough to come up with the kind of lies that sound like they make sense. So, I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is gonna. It's about 10 minings behind. Sorry, but
I don't know 15, 16-year-olds. So I'm much older.
I've heard we're divorcing your husbands. Much older. Yeah. I don't. So I guess the thing in my mind is I'm not necessarily concerned with the cheating for like leading to divorce or huge fighting or all of this stuff. I don't know that it always has to end there or lead there. I think that most of the time it probably does. But I do agree with this comment. Most of the divorces are personally out of extraordinary selfishness and affected kids. I agree with that. And I would tell them I'm not comfortable. Get rid of that. Yeah. So that's a female view. I guess on my side of it, I would be pretty. I mean, I wouldn't be happy about it. I would ask. I would have the common courtesy to ask and not like skip ahead. I don't know that it shows intent, right? But I
It
don't
does.
doesn't either.
You want to see it later. For what? You're saving it for later.
Is it saving it for later though?
Yeah, you're
I
saving.
know.
I'm talking about you see the picture in the bikini and you save it on your phone. You're saving it for later.
I don't. That's why I have a hard time relating to this because I don't do that.
I know. This is very common for guys to do. And it's like, what? She look good. Oh, I guess I can't go on the internet.
So actually, there's this. I've blocked it. I don't know if it's. There was a group that was on my Facebook that somebody. I don't know how somebody like put me in it, but it was for this. It was like Hottie Wednesday or something like that, or I don't know what it is. Something hottie, and it was literally just a bunch of women in their underwear, like every picture was just women in their underwear, and I'm like, what the fuck is this clogging up my feed? It's on Facebook. And I literally first of all, I muted it thinking that would get rid of it, but that only gets rid of it for like 30 days or something. So I ended up having to delete it because it's just so fucked up. I honestly thought that maybe once in a while there'd be like a really picture of a girl in a nice dress or something like that I'd be like, that's all right. There's nothing but pictures of chicks in their underwear, which, hey, I don't have a problem with most of the time, but I just don't want it I don't need it in my Facebook feed. I don't need to see it every single day. It's just not necessarily what I want. I don't know if everyone's like that. I think I'm a weird dude, and I know that I'm a weird dude. So for me, it's like, for me, it's a little more along the lines of I don't get along. So I've never been to strip clubs and gotten anything out of it. Like I've been to, because guys go with guys to strip clubs. I've been a few times. I don't get anything out of it. I don't, the girls aren't really like
Bullet holes.
They're really not my type, I guess you'd say.
I don't
for the
think
most part.
anybody's type is stripper. I mean,
I will disagree. I think that there are a lot of men out there whose type is exactly stripper, or they think it is. And so I don't like going to strip clubs. I've never seen any advantage in it. I don't go to like bikini bars. I don't go to Hooters. Even when I used to go to Hooters, like every once in a while with my buddies, it was always like, it's just kind of gross, see all these old dudes or young dudes out there. Just, half those women are married and you're just like ogling the hell out of them. And they're just showing, they're doing it just for the money, right? Like they're just completely like literally every move they make is choreographed to get that bigger tip. And I was like, I guess maybe the practicality of it to me is different because to me, there's no payoff. Why am I going to spend all of this stupid energy to suck up to some girl that is only like doing any of this to get a bigger tip? Like, why? That's dumb. Don't do that. That's not smart. She'll do the exact, she will give you the same service without all the fluff. Just give her a normal tip, just don't worry about it. You don't need anything extra. So I don't know. I think I'm weird that way. I just never cared. Mainly because I felt like I could go have sex with real women, and I prefer having sex with real women than looking at pictures of naked women. I don't know. Weird like that.
I'm thinking about a story that my friend told me about her ex-husband. She said that this is back to the cheating thing. She said that she heard him talking with one of his guy friends on the phone. He was walking outside, so she went by the window to listen. And he was talking pretty loud. And he said something about a girl at work that really likes him. He thinks he could hit it or something.
Right.
And
That's a gross
at,
conversation.
yeah,
Right
and
right out of the
sending
gate, you're
sending the
no.
friend photos of her. What do you think? Oh yeah, she's hot. Yeah. All this stuff. So of course his wife freaks out. My friend freaks out. Whatever. Eventually they get a divorce. But before that, the guys in the group, the other husbands, they try to like help him. So he would not go with them to go hang out. So they took him to a strip club. That was the only place he was willing to go.
Mm-hmm.
And they told me that like he took a girl back there, spent all his money, and then came out and said, "Oh, she really likes me. We have like a real connection."
Right. A real
This is
connect.
real. She really likes me. She
Yeah.
really liked all your money, fool.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, that's absolutely 100% it. You can't change that. And men are stupid, and they will just continuously fall into that trap. So, just pretty terrible. But all right, so what about things that women do? Because we've been talking a lot about.
Well, I told you about my girlfriend and that gained weight after. So that was a woman's story. Let's see.
I told a woman's story, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, she was bisexual, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to find stories on both sides. I always say evil does not have a gender.
I think that it's been my experience that women cheat more than men do, but men get caught because most of the time men are cheating to get caught.
In my experience, almost all of the guys that I know cheated at least in their first marriages. The first time.
Marriages?
First. Yes.
How many do they have?
2, 3.
2 or 3 marriages?
Yeah. People don't get it right anymore. People are having problems out there.
What the fuck is wrong with people? There's books on this. Study.
They don't. And I think, I don't know. I think it's just like when a guy gets married, the amount of female attention he gets sometimes for the first time in his life is insane. And especially if the guy didn't have any experience before he got married, it could be, if you're not a strong person, you're going to be weak and stupid. Especially if you think, oh, they want me for me. They don't want, when they really just want to break you up because they're jealous or whatever. They don't like to see married people. And people don't realize that unmarried people do not like married people.
Yeah, you can't have unmarried friends as a married couple. If you have unmarried friends, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's definitely like I've seen both sides.
What happened with Josie? She was here and then she just like popped out.
She's busy.
Oh, there she's back. We must be having computer issues again. Issues again?
Oh no, I just forgot to log in and it logged me out. Sorry. Is the internet okay so far?
It's a market improvement over previous.
Cat 8 cable.
So
it's gold.
Good. Yeah, so I don't think that you can have, and I tell people this all the time, and I don't have any. I don't think you can have single friends when you're married, and I don't even think that you should have divorce. Honestly, so in my friend group, which is really small anyway, if somebody gets divorced, man, they're out, and they know they're out. Then that's probably leverage that they use to keep to stay married, but I just don't have any time for that.
I still will talk to my divorced female friends. I'll send them memes.
You're a girl. I don't know if you noticed, but you're a girl.
I send them memes. They like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't do that. I don't know that it's a problem per se, right? I don't know that, but my experience has been since literally high school, if you're in a relationship and your friends were in a relationship and they're not now, the very next thing they want to have happen is for you to not be in a relationship. And that's been true. I mean, that's true when you're 16, and I'm pretty sure it's true when you're 66. I just think that's way they operate, and there's no reason to, just weird. I can't believe that marriage means so little now. I thought so. Here's the thing. I don't think I'm that good a person, but by all standards, like I didn't want to get married and divorced. I never wanted to get divorced. Like that was like the one thing that I was like, I'm only going to do it once. If it's not right, I'm just not going to fucking do it. Like there's no way at all. But you guys are right. I know a bunch of like almost, and I think I've said this before. I don't know, maybe not on camera. I think something like probably like 40 or 50, maybe 60% of my graduating class got married the summer of graduation to each other, obviously, or to, somebody from another high school or whatever. And I don't know any of them that are still married. Not one. Not one. And I'm like, you guys were in, and I told them when they did it, I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Why do you think this is going to work? You can't afford an extra slice of pizza at lunch in the cafeteria. Why do you think that you're going to suddenly be able to afford a family? Like what? How does this fucking work in your head? Oh no, I'm going to get a job and it'll be great. I'm like, that's not how that works. That's literally not how any of that works.
Yeah.
So just a question regarding
Sure.
that. Does that only apply to guys or to women as well?
Which part?
The part where, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna get married and I'm gonna get a job later. Does that apply to women as well or just to guys?
Well, I mean, in this case, I was speaking specifically about high school students who were, obviously not able to have anything more than a part-time job because they went to school. And then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, they're getting married, which they have no income because they're high school students. And they just think, I'm going to work over the summer and it'll be great. I'll get a job down at the factory and whatever. I don't know. You're asking me to define like really fucked up people's thoughts, which I don't live in that headspace. I don't have any way of.
No, the only reason I'm asking is because I was just watching Andrew's debate with Lauren Shannon. It just seems that the counter argument that a lot of people on the right could even make in regards to that is that people wait too long to get married and put creating a family on hold because of financial reasons, because they cannot afford that slice of pizza. Then people give me a lot of shit for putting that on hold. But I don't want my kids to be on fucking EBT. Like,
well, I think that, again, this is
which I agree with you, by the way.
I mean,
I 100% agree with you.
It's in the South, I mean, it's kind of a tradition, right? And I mean, I say tradition. It was just something that happened. I don't see the success ratio there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not how you start a life. You're always worried about money. You're always worried about everything. I'm of the opinion that if you can do it, right? Like if you can get married at 18 because your parents have a trust for you that you get when you get married, so that you can have a little bit of, I mean, look, there are things that people can do in life to make it possible for young people to get married and have a good life. If your parents have done that for you, or if you've done it for yourself, awesome. But if you're the kid, and if you're still a kid, if you're 17, 18 years old and you're in the love of your life, puppy love, is that what they still call it? Puppy love? I don't know. Puppy love. If you're being all puppy love and everything's wonderful, and you hold hands every day on the way to your locker, and you're going to the same college, it's gonna be great. If you get married because of that, I think you're an idiot. I think you're an absolute complete fool. Is it possible to get married at 18 and have it work? Absolutely. I know people have done it. I think it's potential. However, I think ZT Den, I don't have any idea how we're saying that. Most do more because of kids. Yes, I think because they got pregnant and gotta do the right thing. South, we still have shotgun weddings. We don't call them that. We just call them weddings, but they're shotguns involved. But
it's just funny to me because it's such a foreign concept. Like it's just something that it's like Muslim having multiple wives to me. Just to give you an idea, that's how foreign that concept was.
Of
getting married at 18 straight out of high school, sweetheart.
Oh yeah, no, a lot of people don't. Yeah, a lot of people don't. A trust fund, yeah. So believe it or not, it used to be, and still is, that grandparents would put money away, especially for a female child, and she would get that money when she got married, and she wasn't allowed to touch it until she got married. And so, that used to be, and still is to some degree in the South where I'm from. You guys have to understand that I don't live in a world that a lot of you guys live in. I visited every now and again, and I'm constantly, as a tourist, I'm very entertained by the fucked up world you guys manage to live in. I don't live there. I live where people don't care if I'm cleaning my gun in my garage with the door open and they can see it. I live in a place where the school board has reenacted the decency laws, which they'll probably get torn down again because of the ACLU, but we'll just keep fighting. We'll keep fighting the good fight.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't live in this world of corruption that so many do, and I get it. I've been there. I've visited. I've been to California. I've been to Florida. I've been all over the country. I've been to Canada. I've been to China. I've been all over the place. But I still cannot. I mean, I don't get the thought processes behind a lot of what people are doing. And I think that it's because there's not enough voices out there saying, hey, moron, don't do that. Don't be stupid. Instead, there's a bunch of weak people that, for lack of a better word, don't care. And they'll just let you do it. They'll let you be stupid. They'll let you go out and marry a dude that, that you've known for 6 months, or whatever. And you're like, hey, what's up? This is gonna be great. It's a roller coaster ride for you.
What do you mean let you?
Yeah, you're 18.
Yeah. Well, I mean, by let, I mean they will never come to you and say, hey, I know you think you're really in love right now, but dude's banging 5 other chicks. So,
or even if he's not, dude doesn't have any money.
Yeah, dude doesn't have any money. Dude's driving a rental car. Okay. That's what's up. So just, think about it.
He's driving an old Civic DX 1995.
Yeah, he has a car. His aunt said we can stay in their efficiency in the back. It's gonna work out.
No power steering though, but that's all good. I've got arms.
Yeah. Oh, this is so fucking funny. I've heard that.
Daddy.
But he's my dream. Say I come from Mick Cop. Really? I like you.
I love
Mick
him.
Cop. You guys get that cultural reference, right? Mick Cop.
No.
Irish cop.
Oh, yeah.
It's a racial slur that nobody cares about because
We
it's
need to
not the
bring it back.
other racial slur. Once my grandfather got sick, wiped out my grandmother. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I get it, man. It's terrible. Terrible stuff, man. Money is money. Arthrodia is here. We now have we have apparently lasted long enough for her to get off of her shift and make it here. And it's good times.
I really wish you would go on the podcast, Melissa. I think you'd do great. I mean, whatever.
Yeah. So let's see. Town I grew up in, it's not uncommon whatsoever to see somebody pull a rifle out of the truck and walk across the street into the port swearing. Yeah, I mean, it's just normal. We're
I
just,
saw that in Hawaii, believe it or not.
Not anymore. Hawaii is basically banned guns there. Like you can't. I don't even know if you can have the ones you had.
Kauai.
Yeah,
It's pretty tiny.
seriously weird. Got a controversial topic for me? You'll DM me. Okay, that's fine. So that's good.
Did you watch Lauren Chin?
I'm sorry.
Did you watch Lauren Chin and Andrew debate?
I did. We discussed it earlier.
Oh,
We
gotcha.
actually discussed it. We discussed it. Crap, I can't talk. We discussed it the other day, and then I kind of revisited it tonight because why not? I don't know if that's a controversial topic. It's just stupid.
Say it. Say
you
it.
guys seen this bra that Kim Kardashian's put out
No.
with nipples on it?
No.
Ew. Oh yeah. I saw that on. Yeah.
So you look like you're
Yeah. That's the reason why you wear a bra.
right. That's what I thought. I'm not a girl though, so I just thought I didn't get it.
Why are we getting back problems to cover that up if she's gonna put them on the top of them?
I don't want to pull up the pic.
It's
Yes.
disgusting.
Do you have you run across any cowboy crooners lately?
What?
Jess is a horse girl,
Mm.
like a real horse girl.
No, she's not that crazy.
Yeah, she's pretty crazy.
No.
Pretty nuts. All right, we'll wait for her to answer. A cowboy crooner? That's you have never heard that? It's I've got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle as I go riding merrily along. Haven't you ever heard that? Come on, you guys have culture, right?
You let him hit and raw. You didn't have second thoughts. Now you're a single mom. Now you're a
There you
single
go.
mom. You said I'm gonna have his kid.
That's not the,
Don't
that's
care if
not
he's
the-
here
that's
or
not
not.
That's not the right one.
I'm a person of culture, you see.
Yeah, John Wayne type dudes. You know, men used to sing. We have very few of those left. Now we just got a bunch of kids that scream at each other and like throw things. So, I don't know. So let's see. All right, let's
Cowboy
go.
crooner.
Here. If you had a daughter, what would you tell her as far as getting a career and working on that versus being a wife, mom, not having a backup plan if her husband were to disappear? Well, that's a great question. I will attempt a great answer, backed up by my compatriots here. I would tell if I had a 16-year-old daughter about to go into did we go? It was specifically 16-year-old, right? No, not 16-year. Okay. So if I had a daughter that was entering the work basically entering the workforce, looking for a husband, all of that, I think my personal opinion is that regardless of who you are and what your station in life is, you should always be planning ahead. So I would have hopefully instilled that in her long before she gets out on her own. Like, you know, say my son's saving money right now. My son has a credit card. He doesn't know how much money's on it right now because he hasn't been able to use it because he shopped at a questionable website, and then we had to kill the card, and I haven't bought, and he hasn't really bothered me enough yet to get him a new one. However, he's takes a portion of his earnings and puts it into savings, and he puts a portion into his spending, and he's been doing that since he was like 10. And actually I have a really I'm going to sidebar here. I had a really like proud dad moment with my son about 7 or 8, well, not 7 years. He was probably 3 years ago. It's probably like 9 or 10. And he was doing summer camp. And on Fridays, they would walk down there. There's this little country store at the end of the road that where the summer camp is, and they would let all the kids walk down there, and they would get ice cream or moon pies and RC Cola, which is somewhat rare to find. And so the first week of summer camp, he didn't tell me he needed money, and so he got the money from Grandpa. And I got mad. I told him, I'm like, you don't do that. If you need money, you come to me. And so he's like, okay. So the next week, I didn't say anything about the money. I was kind of waiting to see what he did. I was waiting to see if he would come to me for the money. So we're in the car. We're on our way to camp. And I look at him and I said, hey, man, it's Friday. Do you need money? And he's like, nope. And he pulls out like 3 ones and $3 in change. That was his money that he had squirreled away, saved, put away. And I said, did you get that from Grandpa? And he's like, nope, that's my money. I saved it. And I was like a super proud, like I can't tell you how proud I was of him at that moment, that not only did he not ask me for the money, but that he had, and the reason he didn't ask me was because he had gotten the money himself. I was like so proud. Like I was like crazy proud about that, because you know how rare that is? Like that's like ridiculously rare. Like I can't even believe that. But yeah, so I mean, anyway, back to our arthrodias, whatever.
Arthrodia.
I keep saying arthrodia, but it's arthrodia or something like that. I don't know. It's fine. She knows who I'm talking about. Back to Melissa's question. I can say that. So hopefully my child would have already understood what money is. Also, as a parent, I have provided for my children. It's not something my wife and I talk about. My wife and I often talk about this. My kids don't well, obviously one of them's 3, so he has no idea. My son has no idea that the day he graduates high school, he's a millionaire. Like he is. He doesn't know that, and
Don't tell him. Never tell him. Never show him that.
Tell him that. But he's already, that was done. That planning was done a while back. Like there's, and there's and it's, there's like everything I own is in trust for the 2 boys, because I plan for things like I may die, something stupid might happen, and I don't want a bunch of I really don't want a bunch of probate and all that stuff. So hopefully that I've done my job as a father enough that long before we're talking about her getting married and needing money, she doesn't need any money. She doesn't need a dude. She doesn't need any of that. My son doesn't need to go get married if he doesn't want to. I mean, hopefully he will, but doesn't have to. So hopefully the financial aspect of it is set. On the other side of that, if I'm talking to a young girl about how she should choose or how she should consider either the logistics or the practical application of finding a dude worth having, is I don't think I don't think there's any reason for a woman to not work. Well, let me rephrase. I have no problem with women working. I don't think that all women should work. If you want to work, great. I don't think you should work, right? And so, that's a little controversial here and there, but at the end of the day, you have to tell your daughter or son, either side of it, if you're going to be the provider, or her husband's going to be the provider, then she needs to follow that lead. I think that while I don't agree with most people getting married at 18 because they simply do not have the planning or the resources or any of that, if that exists, I have no problem with someone getting married at 18. I mean, hey, you will have 60 years of happiness that other people do not. Right? I'm unhappy now that I only have 20 years with my wife, or 19. I have 19 years of marriage in, 20 coming up. I'm unhappy that I've only had 20 years. Like, I wish I'd met her earlier, so I had 30 years or 40 years already under the belt, but I don't. So it is what it is. So I think that on the same side of it, I think that if you have if a woman has children young enough that as the children grow up and are there are less demands on her time if she wants to go to work outside the home or inside the home, because sometimes there's a bunch of things that need to be taken care of in a household. It's fine. I think that's the way to. I would prefer that structure. Does that make sense? I guess I'm kind of rambling now. I don't know if this makes sense, but at the end of the day, I guess what I'm saying is, if she's getting married and the man's going to be the sole provider, great. If he can do that, great. If they have to tighten their belts once in a while, that's a fucking great lesson to learn. I encourage everyone to learn that you have to tighten your belt sometimes. You can't go get a new car. You can't take that trip to Bali. You can't live in Puerto Vallarta for 6 months. You just can't do it. You got to tighten the belt. You're going to have to be a normal human being for a little while, and you have to work. I don't have any problem with that. Work before baby, great. School, absolutely. You want to study while you're raising your kids? I think that's a great thing. I actually think that can help moms maintain some sense of sanity, to study while they're. Now, I don't necessarily agree with them being gone on a college campus for 10 hours a day or whatever. I don't agree with that. But, if you're taking 2 or 3 hours of classes, here and there a couple times a week, it's fine.
Well, perhaps if the education that you're getting is actually going to get you somewhere, just maybe going to college just to get a degree in basket weaving for the sake of it might not be the best financial and time-consuming decision, but
I would have to assume that a woman with a child would not pick basket weaving. I think that there's something that happens to women when they have a child. a lot of the girlishness just falls away. And you're left with somebody that's like so much more responsible, so much more focused in most cases. And I'm not saying it happens with everybody. I'm saying that by and large, I've watched this happen. My friends' wives, people I know through business, my own wife. You have that kid, and literally, you're not thinking about basket weaving anymore. You're not thinking about art deco stuff. And Kat, you want to chime in there on that?
Okay, so like what I would tell my daughter about work, career, marriage specifically?
Well, actually, yes, but also the little what I was just saying about how I think that there's something that changes when women have a child.
Oh,
I don't think that I don't think that they would. I think if a woman was studying while she was raising her child, it would be something very useful like economics or
I've seen
whatever.
both. I can't say for sure women make good decisions when they become mothers because a lot of people I know, they're sleep deprived. They can't sleep because they're anxious, wired, and tired. They're stressed. They're gonna fail anything that they study. At least like the first 6 years, seven. I would say the first 7 years, most people are a wreck that I know, unless they have lots of family help, like grandmothers and stuff like that, aunts taking care of the kids too. Those do very well. The ones that don't have the family help are a complete mess. They do jobs online. I've seen that, but I would not call them successful just because their health tanks, they become overweight, they're stressed out, they get hormone problems, some of them get cancers and stuff like that. Like women in stress, nightmare. If a woman is financially secure, her health is better. So if she's struggling to like, oh, I got to make money, it just drops immediately. And the body's not safe. It's not going to produce hormones properly. Everything's going to go. It's going to start basically destroying you inside out. And then, early death. I've seen like cancer more from women struggling and working a lot than I have, this idea of this wonderful working woman.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine your wife, she knows you're financially stable. This is fun for her. This is something like she can do this stress-free.
I mean, it's interesting that you say that because I think my wife is, it really enjoys her current career. But
because she gets to do it. She doesn't have to do it. That's a huge thing for women.
Yeah.
If I choose to do this, it's fine.
There's also I think that like Griz's wife is the perfect woman girl boss goal that every single woman who is in college can aspire to become. This is the ultimate goal for most women that go to UCSB or take out a huge amount of loans and debt. However, I personally, I think Griz's wife is a 0.01% of women who can have her cake and eat it too. But not all of these chicks that are out there are going to be like her or have what it takes to be like her. She's an outlier, literally.
Yeah, I go with that. I mean, I think that, I mean, but again, what I was trying to get at is, so my wife is actually, she just got off this big deal. It was I think they sold a company for like $3.3 billion. And, she was on the team that did that. Everybody's really super happy. Everybody's like really, it's a big deal, right? This is something that doesn't happen every day. And it's a big deal. And I think they had years, a couple of years worth of work in it. Now, not her, she was at the tail end, but still. But it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of, even at her level. And she handles the stress really well, but she's still a girl. So not as well as maybe like I would. And she would hate me saying that. If she's watching right now, it'd be really funny later, but it's okay. And,
it's okay.
It's okay.
It's true. It happens.
Yeah, and she'll get, and so she's actually she's like, well, I don't know, because you understand that when you calculate things out and you say, hey, we're going to suffer for X number of years, but then it's going to be okay, and you go, okay, that's fine. And so that it's going to be bad, right? You're building something, you're crawling through the mud, so to speak, and you're going to be tired, you're going to be angry, and you're going to be all these things, but it's worth it for that payoff at the end, right? Well, once you get there and you've got that payoff, what do you do then? Now you don't want to continue to slog through the mud, right? You don't want to, you don't want this grind that there's no, maybe the end that you thought was going to be there isn't the end that you anticipated. And so, she's looking at maybe changing career directions. I support that. If she wants to do that, that's great. If she wants to, we've also talked about, just not doing it. Well, I don't know that she could not do it, because she's pretty driven. She's really good at what she does. She's invested a lot of time into it. And, I don't know. I don't know that she could go from like, I just don't know that she could just stop and it'd be okay. Right. Like, I think that would stress her out more than just continuing to do what she's doing, because she's very used to it, very comfortable. But I don't think my wife is an example. And I really dislike it when people point to, and she does too. She really dislikes it when people point to all of these women that have given up literally everything, kids, successful family. You look at some of these women, top executives, they've been divorced 2 or 3 times. Some of them have no children. They may have a lot of cool stuff, and they winter in Bali, and they do all this kind of stuff, but they don't have any of the real things in life, where my wife has all of it. That's the thing about it. If you just support each other and you plan and you're willing to kind of, be, just be a force together and not be like constantly fighting each other. It's, because she knows that she has total support, and if she didn't, then she couldn't do it. And I know that, she's exceedingly good at what she's an exceedingly good mom, she's an exceedingly good wife, and she's an exceedingly good executive. It's very hard to be all three of those. She's like a 1,000%, person. Yes. Are you holding your hand up to speak?
Yes.
This isn't class. Okay.
Well, I
go.
wasn't gonna cut you off. Was that in regards to what I said earlier when you said my wife doesn't like it when people say ...
No, no, it was in response to the question. And I think it was in the chat.
Okay.
It was in response. I haven't been putting up all the questions. But working career for 10 years, not getting married, and then of course, Kat's comment, and also also to your comment about how that my wife was at this higher level, but it was mostly in response to what Arthrodaya.
Just say Melissa at this point.
Yeah, Melissa. But you're right. But there are a lot of people. So like my wife has a friend who is she's actually really cool. Her name I'm not going to say her name. But I think I met her one time. I may not have actually ever met her friend. I don't know. I'm not that good a person. Don't think I meet all my wife's friends. I think I did though. I don't know. Anyway, this girl got married. She's working. I think she works for a PE firm now. It's a private equity. She's working like 120, 130 hours a week. she is literally in the office every night until like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. She goes home, she sleeps, she gets up, she goes back to the office. And she bought, very stupidly, my opinion, I told them not to do it, but she bought an apartment. I don't remember how much they paid for it. I think it was like 800 grand. I think that it's probably worth less than that now. That's not good. But it's just, she's in a tough spot, and she makes a lot of money. But now she wants kids, right? She wants to not have to do what she's doing, but she can't stop doing what she's doing because of the level of everything that she has accomplished, which it comes with certain obligations and debt and everything else. So it's an interesting dichotomy and I think they had dinner when my wife was in New York last week, and so it was very interesting to hear about the conversation. I just feel like that, again, I'm very supportive of women working. I think that there are many things that women can do very well, but to really truly excel is like, it's such a rare thing. It's so rare, in my opinion. I can be wrong. I've been wrong like twice ish. So,
Can I say my opinion?
yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. So my opinion is you can do that. You can stress out, girl boss, try to have it all. And at the end, when you finally stop, whether it's because you have to, because something happens, a health thing or whatever, you lose your job, whatever happens, that's when I see people get autoimmune conditions and other crazy things, hormone problems, all the things tank, and then they have to like be on all these. Usually I put them, or I recommend that they get on bioidentical hormones when this happens, because I see this like pattern: girl boss, girl boss, girl boss. And then you hit a point where you're perimenopausal or a little bit menopausal, and then it breaks. And then it's like years of, being bedridden, emotional, ruining your relationship because you're like angry or depressed or stressed as you're trying to balance your hormones. And I see that a lot. So I'm always like, when women are stressed, their hormones tank, their cortisol rises. When men are stressed, testosterone increases, their let's go to happens. It's not the
Yeah.
same for women.
It is, that, and it's always interesting when people, talk about equality and all of that. They don't take into account that we're just built literally completely different, like 100%. Like, I thrive on stress. Like, without stress, I don't know what I'd do. Like, it's very interesting. My wife thinks that and she's not wrong. She 100% believes that I overload my schedule to stress myself. She's not wrong about that. I do.
I think that's ADHD though.
No, I just do
It's
it.
hyperactive.
I do it on
It's not
purpose.
ADHD. It's just H.
Okay, well, ADD, let's say.
No, H. No, not it. Please don't. Please don't.
Yeah,
Don't even
Okay.
say
I don't
that.
have any problem
Thank
with
you.
attention or any of that. It's just I have to stay busy. I can sit for very long periods of time. It's no problem. But I have to have a project. I have to be building something, or I have to have something mentally challenging. I have to have it. If I just sit, I can't. Well, first of all, I can't sit still. I've never been able to sit still. I don't want to sit still.
I mean, you're doing a pretty good job right now, I guess.
Yeah, but now is it all right? So like, I can do. I was really good in class and school and all that. So I don't know where that goes.
I'm
but
standing up. I'm not even sitting down right now, so because I can't.
I don't really pace anymore. I used to pace a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, but I have that nervous energy. as they call it, where it drives my wife nuts. I mean, absolutely nuts. I will literally just be like sitting there, and I don't even realize that my leg is like my knees like going up and down because I'm like twitching my leg or whatever, and she's just like, "Would you stop?" And I'm like, "I didn't even know I was doing that."
You know what
Just
that is, right? It's blood flow. Like the body does that so that because you're moving it, it's actually easier for the blood to go back up.
yeah, I have low
So
blood pressure.
so
I have
if
very low.
you like put your legs up in the air like at the end of the day or whatever, it helps a lot with that. I would say like compression socks too helps.
No, I have to be moving. I'm always, I mean, even just sitting here, I mean, you guys see how much I use my hands. I mean, Kat's over here with her hands on the desk. It's all very nice, very proper. I'm over
Look,
here,
that's how I use my hands. Look at my nails. There's
you know,
nothing left.
I got to build stuff. I build, building airplanes, but I create, I have to create something to make, not drama. Drama's not the right word. I have to have a task. I have to have a goal. I have to have a mission. I have to have something that needs to be accomplished right now. And my wife thinks it's funny because she can sleep for like 8 hours. I can't sleep that long. Like, it's impossible. It will never happen.
Did they tell you that women need to sleep, what is it, 9 to 10 hours and an hour extra on their periods? Newest
I believe
study.
that. My wife probably
Yeah,
does that.
PMS actually.
My wife will literally sleep until like, so she'll now she watches these Chinese soap operas at night, and I don't, because first of all, I go to sleep. I go to bed at if at all possible, except on the nights I do the stream, I'm in bed like 10 o'clock, 10:30. I'm up at 5 a.m. or earlier, and I've usually been up at least once because I have a 3-year-old and a dog. They both require attention in the middle of the night. So
Yeah.
my wife never gets up. The entire world could be ending. My wife would just sleep. It's just not going to happen. Just,
It's good.
yeah, just
It's
so
a
she,
sign of health.
yeah.
Well,
And
she's probably under adrenaline all the time. She's gotta recover at some
I
point.
can literally set, I literally get up 10 minutes before I set my alarm. 100% of the time. And the other day I got up, I brought myself to like almost the awake state. And I'm like, is it time to go? Is it time to get up? I don't know. It feels right. And then I heard my alarm, and because I had been on stream, I had it muted, so it was on vibrate, and my phone on vibrate woke me up. So, but you can't. I don't know. I'm just a weird dude. I keep telling people I'm a weird dude. Don't think I'm normal. Like, don't think that I'm
I think
an
it's good to have
example.
outliers here and there too, just because there is such a movement of no, you gotta fit in, you gotta do stuff the way that it's supposed to be done, and sometimes like some people are just doing things differently, and sometimes it's just good to have one successful person you can look up to who did it the way that you're currently doing it.
Yeah.
Which I think it's a good thing because there are outliers. Like, whether people seem to say, well, odds are that you're not that outlier. Everybody thinks they're the outlier. Yeah, okay,
No,
but
I
shut
know
the
I'm a
fuck
weird
up.
dude. I've known my whole life that I was a little bit different. Mainly because I have brothers to compare myself to.
The thing,
Go ahead.
sorry.
It's all right. I was going to read the thing. Did I pace like the druggie we had on last week? So Cam wasn't.
No,
I
that
don't
was
think he was
just
on.
crack.
I don't think he was on anything. I really don't. He claims to be like absolutely sober and everything, and he just seems like he's got a lot of. That dude had a lot of energy though. Like when I was watching him, I was like, that dude's got a lot of energy. Like he can't sit still at all. but he might have been. He also might have been on because he kept saying he had like a chest infection or lung infection or something like that. Yeah, or throat
I've had
infection.
lots of I've had lots of infections
And
in
he
my
may have
life.
been on like he may have been on like some kind of like not a they call it I don't know, whatever.
It doesn't
Some kind of
affect your
speed
judgment that much to
amphetamine.
think
He
that
might have been
it's
on some kind of amphetamine for the chest congestion and everything. Yes. Are you ready to leave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Past midnight.
Is it really?
Mhm.
Oh, well, okay, we'll go turn into a pumpkin.
Good night, guys.
by Cinderella.
Night, cat.
Bye.
So
All
just
right. Yeah.
the main. Sorry.
I never zone out in front of the TV. The interesting thing about me watching TV is I'll be watching TV and I'll be doing something else.
Yeah.
And this is something that drives my wife absolutely crazy again.
Yeah,
lit,
like
and she's like,
utilities, bro.
she's like, "Are you watching TV?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'll be like, and she'll say, what else are you doing? You're sitting there reading. You're not watching TV. Or I'm sitting there, working on my laptop on something. I'm like, yeah, I just kind of, shift back and forth. And a lot of times I just need to hear I just like to have the background noise. So anyway, it is what
I
it is.
stopped doing that. Now I just have like one AirPod and I just listen to it because like big ass TV just drives the utilities like pretty high.
Yeah.
Can I just ask like the real freaking question that
Sure.
that was a sweet, cool discussion and all, but one side tells women, okay, like you gotta wait until you're financially secure to have kids, and then you have the motherfuckers in the motherfucking red pill that are looking at me like, oh, you're 28, how come you don't have children yet? And I'm like, motherfucker, go fuck yourself. Like, seriously.
Just, I mean, that's what we were
you
just
know
talking
you're running
about.
out of eggs.
I mean, that's kind of what we were just talking about was, I don't think either side handles it right. I mean, I don't. I think that women should be married by the time they're 25. And that doesn't preclude you from having a job. It doesn't preclude you from working. It doesn't preclude you from any of the things that people think it precludes you from. Now, does it preclude you from being a girl boss? Maybe, because you may not have time or mental faculty or even have the actually be able to go out and be a girl boss. Man, I don't know that people can. I think it's a weird thing to think that you can. But if you are,
it's not about even being a girl boss. It's just I don't like right now. I absolutely do not want kids. I am so not there. I'm like, no, it would be fucking miserable. Like, no.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can barely take care of myself.
I'm of the opinion. First of all, I'm of the opinion, obviously, that it's better to have kids young than it is old. I had them older, but my wife was young, and even then, I was married 5 years before I had my first kid, because we wanted to be financially able to provide for a child. But that was with both of us working. That was with me working while my wife was able to finish her master's program. So I don't think that people think this through very clearly, and I think that they think it in a very one-dimensional way. And it's really I'm really getting tired of the one dimension, how people look at things in just a one dimension. When it's not. It's just not that.
So
It's just
true.
people say, well, if I want to have kids, but I also want to have a career. Well, you can have both. The question is really, are you willing to do what you have to do to have both? And if the answer is no, which it usually is, if the answer is no, you're not willing to do it, then just say, no, not willing to do that. No. Mm-mm.
Well, I do think that where women get it wrong is, oh, I'm gonna focus on my education and my career, and when I'm 35, then I'm gonna go and like on dating apps and try to find somebody to build a family. Like, okay, that they do get it wrong. It's like you can build a career while being in a relationship. That's literally
Sure. That's the
you
best way to
should.
build a career. How
And
are,
anyone who tells you no, you should focus on your education, stop focusing on guys. Tell them to fuck off.
I mean,
Stop.
how do people, how do people how does this even become a thought that it's not that how is it not self-evident and like taught as a you know junior high level class? It's way easier when you are able to work together to build. It's hard to do it by yourself. It's hard. You want to go be a girl boss and be all by yourself and just do whatever you want to do and all that. Great, that's fine. But it's going to be way harder than if you had married a dude and gone into that marriage with love and honesty with each other and told and said, "Hey, I want to go get a master's program. I want to go do this. I want to go do that." Okay, well, we can work towards that and we'll make it work. And if you can, we'll and you achieve that goal as a family unit, right? Not and the selfishness has to go away, right? You can't be selfish.
I have a man master hard game. Don't worry
You
about
you
me.
you can't be selfish, and that's what a lot of these girls are. This is what a lot of girls on whatever podcast are, and that's the girls that the uh mother of 5 that was on there last night. She's completely selfish. She
Oh my
acts like
god.
she's not selfish. Right?
They were
Oh, my
so, they were
kids.
I
Oh, my
feel
kids.
like the chick who got kicked was like more entertaining than like the Canadians that were like pick me as fuck. I was kind of mad that she
Well,
got kicked.
the Canadian girl just was excited to be happy to be there.
No, the one that was like 37, she was just like blah 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 blah. Blah. Like, girl, that's why
Yeah.
you're
Yeah, she's
single.
just happy to be there. She knows she's not, I mean, 37's old, man. That's no deal.
It's not old, but old to start a family.
But anyway, I mean, I just don't understand how I don't understand how people are so stupid and what a and they just think of everything so one dimensionally. It has to be just me go do it, or whatever. And that girl last night that was like, I'm not going to need a man. I don't want a man. I don't, I'm going to do it by
I don't
myself.
need no man.
Look, it's easier for a man to succeed with a good woman behind him. It is even easier for a woman to succeed with a good man behind her. When you have somebody else's back like that, you are going to um you're going to succeed a lot better. I mean, it just is the truth of it. Did I make an appearance last night and tell a
Yes, you
chick
did.
that
Yes, you
disagreed
did.
with everything that the Patriot? Yes, I did. I actually threw a bunch of grenades last night. I was actually one of the reasons I'm yawning now is I was up too late last night. That I was up late last night, so I'm suffering a little bit today, and I didn't get my nap today. You guys don't know this, but normally when I'm going to do a show, especially on here, because we tend to go, quite long. Um, I take a nap during the middle of the day. You know, I'm
The
like, you know
20-minute
what,
power naps are like,
little power nap,
yeah,
little
like
power
20
nap.
minutes. Just close your eyes for 20 minutes. It's insane how it makes a difference.
Yeah,
Did
I
you
had a
eat?
bunch of
Did you
stuff
eat
to do
lunch
this
today?
morning. So. Yeah, thank you. It's interesting. The so here's and actually I wanted to talk about this before Cat left, but that's okay. We'll
We'll have it
whatever. It's
back on.
fine. The so we're having so I had a deal with how do I put this? This is that's not bad. So when I was listening to that very fake girl talk about flying to the airport, because I'm a pilot, and
She was capping so hard.
yeah, it was really interesting because she said Cessna right out of the gate, and I'm like, well, there's only like 2 Cessna jets left out there, right? Like Cessna's pretty much been out of the jet business for a little while now.
Pretty much.
There's not that many of them, and they would be in California if they were there. But I was thinking I should TTS her and ask her what model her Cessna jet was.
You should
because
have
I
asked her at what time she was leaving.
Yeah.
Because you can't leave after 11:45 out of there.
Yeah. But yeah, it was fine. It was fine. She was full of crap.
Oh,
I
she
mean,
was lying so
I
hard.
immediately figured out that her boyfriend was. I immediately figured out that it had to be a boyfriend, or she had conned some instructor somewhere into flying her over there for cheap.
LAX SBA is like you can fly there like $200.
Yeah, I don't use Microsoft Flight Instructor. I use X-Plane. It is the better choice, but it's very important to use your simulator. Flight time's expensive, so simulators are important.
What would you suggest for somebody that's like on a very, very tight budget? Like, let's say I get the Logitech Flight Simulator Goodwill. Going from there, what
Well,
are the expenses?
My setup globally is pretty cheap. I mean, I forget what controls I have. I think they're all Logitech though.
They're probably all Logitech.
I have the pedals. I have the throttle. I have 2 throttles now. I have the Cessna style, which I actually bought off of Etsy for like it was $110 or something. And then I have the Logitech throttles and the Logitech wheel, and that works out pretty good. I actually bought it for my son, and I think I'm going to use it. I bought a gaming rig. It was like $150 for the chair, and it's got a place to mount the controls, and that actually works. It's for car, but it's fine, and it works out good for the plane. It's pretty close, and it lets me mount the throttles and everything kind of where they're supposed to be. And then I use X-Plane. I don't remember what X-Plane cost. I just pay it. I've had it for so long. I don't even know when they bill me every year, but I've had it for several years now, and I like X-Plane a lot. It works really good. I actually started playing with X-Plane in like 2007 or 8. So, yeah. So let's see. We got some more questions here. GTLM? No. No, so first of all, I didn't run in GTLM. I ran in World Challenge in touring car and GT S, and we ran in the Grand Am. I only ran in Grand Am a couple of times, and probably long before you were involved. Like 2000, we took a win with the Camaro, and then we ran a Porsche there year after year after year. But yeah, Porsche bills were huge then. Yeah, absolutely. So was that what you were talking about? Throw it up, based. But no, I did not run GTLM. But I was going to run GT3 FIA and World Challenge. I just didn't want to. To be honest, I just didn't want to spend the money. It was going to cost a lot to retool everything and go work, go back to work on that. better whatever shows. Yeah. Yeah, Brian was too nice, and I wasn't super unhappy about it, but it wasn't great. Let's see.
That's the best show is when
No.
like the
Console's not on it,
troublemakers are
yes.
on.
Yeah.
The
FIAM4.
raccoon chick was hilarious.
Were you running Grand Am or Grand Am, World Challenge, or SRO? What were you running in? And so FIAM4, so you're running what, a Cayman, something like that? What do they call it now? The GT4 Cayman. Road racing, old Joe. Road racing. Okay. GTLM. Okay. You're running Caymans or what they call GT4? Were you running Porsche or what were you running? Yeah, we've talked about that. I would like to I mean, I wouldn't mind doing it now that I've got everything kind of working and all of that. I think maybe I'm a little too aggressive for Brian's style, or he thinks that I would hammer the girls too hard, but we'll see.
No, you need to submit an actual video of you debating and going back and forth. That's literally the only way that he would have you on. And like if you can prove that you can go back and forth and, be aggressive enough with the conversation, he's gonna have like no problem having you on. It's just that there's a lot of guys that like he gave them a shot and they just have him like sit there and be quiet like the entire time.
Yeah. I mean there's that video of episode like 4, I think, or 5, where I debated that giraffe dude that it wasn't even supposed to be a debate. It was supposed to be a discussion, and the guy made it a debate even after I told him not to. Yeah, I didn't want to lose the whole show. They all came together. Yeah, it was fine. The show was fine. '96 Grand Am GT. Actually, I need somebody BMW for GTLM, then private Porsche and GA, but the car broke down all the time and I left. Okay. Were you a Turner for GTM?
Man, I think my internet connection is so much smoother.
If you were a Turner, I know Turner. I know Will Turner. I've known him a long time. He's a good guy. I mean, I've known him like a really long time.
Chat, how's my internet connection?
Did you guys see that lightning flash? Jeez. We've had tornadoes here and all kinds of stuff. It's been a crazy night.
You're in Nashville, right?
I am. And there's a thunder. Josie's cam looks like black and white. It's actually kind of cool.
What do you mean?
RLL.
What do you mean my shit looks black and white?
Yeah, you look like you're in black and white. It looks all like the background looks all black and white. You look kind of colorish, but you
that's because that's the paint.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, okay. I thought that was my quality. I'm like, what? Like, you should have seen me during the day trying, like, fixing shit up. Like, I've been working on that for, like, 3 days. So that the stream would be smooth to not hurt the quality of the stream.
Okay. Yeah, RLL is that's not a bad team, but didn't you guys get beat by Turner and like Pat Gallagher and Robbie Foley? Both of those guys drove for me, by the way. at some point.
Oops. Ah, I think my cable is here.
You think your cable's there? I forgot it's not like late there.
Well, it's 9:30, but the Amazon deliveries are late sometimes. So, well, I needed to order 15 feet cable instead of 10 because now I've got the 10 and I'm like fighting with the cable because it's like the router is like behind me, like hanging out like that. It's a bit inconvenient, but I'm standing on one leg.
Yeah, I am familiar with New Jersey Motorsports Park. We ran some test days there. I don't know that I ever ran a race there. Maybe.
Did you check the recent update about that chick that like baby trapped Fresh from Fresh and Fit? I thought it was kind of funny.
You don't want to talk about it? We got destroyed. Dude, I've been there. It hurts. It hurts when you put a lot of effort in and you don't win. But yeah. Gallagher and Foley drove for me. I love those guys. Those are Foley's. He's you probably don't know, but that dude like lost weight, and I mean he's always been really tall, and he's got like a bad foot, which is interesting. It's an interesting deal. Yeah, I forget. I don't know what it was, but yeah, it was. Yeah, it was all good. All good though, man. I've gotten beat. It's okay. It happens to me. Not very often, but we're able to. No, I didn't run in IMSA the years of GTLM. I wish I had though. I probably should have. But I did not. So I think Andrew's still on stream.
Yeah, I texted him. I messaged him already on the link.
Yeah, I think he's still on stream. He's probably not.
Are you scared? Are you scared of like bothering people, of like telling them like, "Yo, come on my stream"?
No, I talked to
No?
Andrew earlier tonight just for a few minutes. I don't. If he wants to come by, he can come by. It's not that big a deal. So it'd be cool if he did.
I
think
use
it'd be funny.
the power of the crazy eyes. So like, please.
Yeah.
It usually works.
It is wild, man. The interesting thing is that, Pat. I'm actually trying to get Pat to come on the show because, he's married now. He's had a really interesting life story, and he's winning races for Turner right now, and he's a badass. So I need to talk to him again. He's just got so little time, which is, it just is what it is. So, but yeah, I'd like to get that guy on, and I appreciate the kind words, man. It's a different deal, just doing this, being online so much, but it's okay. Yeah, it's like literally pouring down rain so hard it sounds like I'm in a car wash. You guys probably
We can't hear anything.
Yeah, I know you guys. Well, I have a pretty decent mic.
You got it figured out?
Sorry?
You got it figured out?
I had trouble with the mic earlier. I don't know what the hell. I think I had a bad cable or something, but it was just like it was working fine, and it absolutely was not working fine. So,
in the chat, if you want to know how I fixed my internet, I went for, those Ethernet cable that have gold. Yeah, those Cat
that's
8.
what Chip and Flint was telling you that last weekend, that that it was probably your cable.
Well, I brought the modem and the router upstairs and swapped the one that's on the TV downstairs all the way up here, and I reinstalled my Mocha cables. I reset it, everything, like the whole internet. I restart everything.
Yeah.
And like complain nonstop to Spectrum, so like maybe they like did something about it. Because my download speed was fine, it was my upload speed mostly.
Yep. All good stuff. Yeah, Chippin had you. Yeah, he knew. He knew last week.
Well, it couldn't be anything else, honestly, so.
Yeah, Turner, those guys over at Turner, they know what they're doing. It's interesting. I've been racing again. Not anymore, but I raced with that guy back in like 2000, man. I raced against him. I've been racing against him for years in all kinds of different stuff. And yeah, he's really, I mean, he's done it right for the most part. There's a lot of people out there you can say are shysters or, whatever, but Turner, he's solid. He's a solid dude. I like that guy a lot. So it is what it is. I especially like the guys he has driving for him now, since they both drove for me. What should become the 51st state?
Quebec.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, Canada could be the 51st state, but
Bro, we're conservative. We're like super what's the word in English for souverainisme? It's like conservative. It's like conservative, like preserving what would be our constitution. So technically, like the values of the American right and the people that are very like patriotic in terms of the province. So I don't know, the province version of patriotic actually have a lot in common, because we're all about preserving what's in the document. We're very picky. Like they tried to charge us $10 for a semester in cégep, which is like college, because we get out of high school at 16, and then after it's 2 years of this cooming useless junk of a free college called cégep, and we're supposed to have it for free according to our constitution, that education is access to free healthcare and education is part of our constitution. They wanted to charge us $10 for it. We went on a strike for 6 months and blocked the main bridge for 6 months for $10. You do not mess with the book where I'm from. You don't do that.
I think the 51st state, I mean, a good argument could be made for Canada, but I was thinking maybe I like Australia. We could make Australia the 51st state. It'd be all right. It's about the same size as Texas, I think. Maybe a little bit bigger, but
No, they got all sorts of freaking weird ass animals and insects.
I know. We send all the people down there and just let them be scared.
Sharks
And spiders and banana spiders and other kinds of spiders.
Stingrays.
Yes, also stingrays. Yep. So anybody else got anything they want to really talk about? I mean, I was going to talk about how that we kind of did talk about the girl that had the sunglasses and mullet last night was so bad faith and all that. We kind of talked about that, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's anything else really to talk about that episode. The rest of the episode, for the most part, they behaved themselves. They did, I was bored actually.
Like, give me some
except for the
freaking
bear thing.
drama once in a while. Like
The bear thing is just, it's so stupid. I don't
would you
get
rather
it.
be in the woods with a bear or man? I'm like, bitch, are you at a fucking national park? You're most likely gonna come across somebody who decided to go on a hike that day, dumbass. Oh no, I'd rather see a bear than a man walk past me. Fuck off!
Yeah.
No, you don't, bitch. Shut the fuck up. Have you like come across a bear? Like you walk and poof, there's a bear face to face. Like you probably
Swear to
haven't,
God.
motherfucker.
Swear to God, I really wish Brian would just look at him and go, "Why do you think any man would want to SA you?" Because
It's like my boyfriend says, like, bitch, you're not that hot. Chill out.
yeah, like why would a guy go out of his way?
It's like, why are you staring at me? Bitch, you're not that hot. Fuck off.
Dudes, I
Oh.
mean, like most of the guys would be like, "Hey, this girl's gonna be nothing but trouble. Why do I want to deal with her?" Yeah.
I've got a fun fact that I learned on Cinco de Mayo, and some people who like are quite wealthy. So good, you're a well-off guy. You've made quite a chunk of money for yourself. Do you have a guy that comes to your house to sharpen your knives?
No, I do that.
But is
I
that
don't even
a
have a
thi-
guy that comes to my house to mow my lawn. I mow my lawn. Get off my lawn.
because there's like those people, like the house, the people we went to for Cinco de Mayo. They had like this knife set, and the guy comes to sharpen the knives.
Yeah.
And I was like, was that like a language barrier, or did I like not get that? And my boyfriend just like looks at it and he goes, that is the fucking whitest shit I've ever heard in my entire fucking life.
Yeah.
What?
I don't
Sorry.
I don't yeah, I don't really have anything like we talk around this stuff. We talk about, we get a cleaning service. We'll have
The
a maid
knife
come in twice a
sharpener
week.
was late.
We'll have we'll get somebody to come in and just do stuff. But at the end of the day, I like doing it myself. So, it's pretty terrible. Yeah. S Mill has made it, I guess. Yeah. All right. Good times. Well, the first part of the show really was interesting. I don't know that we ever actually got anywhere on the cheating subject, although we had a lot of really good back and forth on it, I thought. And,
wanna
Kat
get
really
back to
did a
that?
good job. I'm sorry?
You want to get back to that, or
No, we kind of beat
want to
that
been around the block?
horse a couple of different ways to death. Maybe 5 ways that horse is dead. I don't know. It's the that was a good discussion. We've had pretty good discussions tonight. I feel like I've ignored the chat a little bit, so I'm trying to. Just goes to show their unreasonable dislike for men because they think that the majority of men would SA them. It's ironic the sex workers have that opinion. Hey man, it's the only thing in their brain. That's the only thing they have of value, and that's the only thing that somebody can, that's the thing they're most scared of someone taking from them. And I think the reality really is that your men are more likely to look at a strange female walking through the woods and say, "Well, I don't know what the fuck is going on there, but I don't want any part of it."
But here's the thing: what kind of woods are we talking about? Like a national park,
Yeah,
or like a
I don't
dark
know.
road?
I didn't even know that it was in a park. I thought that it was just like,
But what kind of woods, you know?
yeah, just the woods, the
What
woods.
woods? Like a no man's land up north in Canada where there's like nothing for miles and miles and miles, or like we're talking of like the Los Angeles National Park, or like we're talking a little like
Yeah, it could be.
shortcut.
Could be that.
Like there's a difference there.
It could be that. I don't know. I think I don't think it matters. I think a bear is a bear is a bear is a bear. It's like
Look, I
even
don't
trained bears will kill you.
I
I
don't want
think
nothing to do with mountain lions or bears.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want anything to do with bears, that's for sure. And I don't know. I think the whole question is just kind of disingenuous, and I
Oh,
understand the point it tries to make. I just don't know that I agree that there's a point there worth making.
no, it's the bitches
So
who think they can outrun the bear. Oh, at least I can outrun the bear. No, you
yeah,
can't.
that is actually pretty funny.
You
I'll
can't.
you're not going to outrun that. You're not going to
Um,
outrun that bear. Now you might, if you might outrun it for 100 yards,
no,
but
grizzlies can run at like what 40 miles per hour?
yeah,
No, not 40. Sorry, 40 kilometers per hour or some shit. They're fast as hell.
yeah. You know, there are more mountain lion attacks up in Wyoming and northern Colorado and all of that than there have been in a while. Like, there's a lot of them are out there.
I am terrified of like I go to GMR like Glendora Mountain Road and I will like there's like the road and everything is kind of like a pitch right after. I am always like my worst fear is that I'm gonna have like a mountain lion just pop out of that fucking ditch. It's like terrifying. I will take the man. I mean, I don't even
Yeah,
need to think.
yeah. Mountain lions don't play.
Mountain lions, if you're on their way, like they're coming for you.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. We have bobcats around here. Supposedly, we have. Um, there's been some mountain lion sightings in my area, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're there.
I see them all the time here.
Yeah, that's because they're not afraid of people anymore out there.
No, no, they kind of still are, but it's like you see them. It's like you see them from far sometimes, and they're just like minding their own business. But you know, they're not at the distance they could attack you like nearly, which is okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think that it's an interesting. I mean, I think it's only an interesting question because women are just they answer it so strangely. So
It just shows how they have absolutely no. They don't have any experience in the woods, or they probably haven't gotten out of their zip code, or oh, I went to Bali on this like all-included trip, or like Punta Cana, or like Mexico didn't,
oh
they
yeah,
don't have any like cultural experience other than their freaking 9-2 zip code, you know?
yeah, yeah. What a night! The tornado, um, the the rush back to get here in time. I missed it by like 3 minutes, but I still started. I started the show on time. I just was on
Here is a
screen.
good question.
Sure.
Would you prefer to come across a bear or an unexpected tornado?
Oh, I mean, they're both going to kill you, so I don't know that there's one's better than the other. It's probably harder to hide from a tornado than it is a bear. So I would probably just, I mean, you're going to die because the tornado is going to mess you up. So
I would pick the tornado. You can see it. It's bigger. The bear is slower, you
yeah,
know? The odds of seeing it on early enough to run are higher with the tornado.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
If I
tornado doesn't actively hunt you. That's very true.
Yeah, but assuming that you're going to meet one or the other, I'd rather come across a bear than a tornado.
Now, would
Because
you rather run across a crazy BPD feminist or a bear?
what's BTD again? I'm not all these
Borderline
acronyms.
personality disorder.
No, BPD. Yeah. I aren't all. I mean, that's kind of a contradiction in terms. I think all feminists are by definition BPD. So I don't
But
know that.
you didn't answer the question.
Yeah, you just say feminist. I don't like running across feminists ever.
I'd pick the bear.
Um, I
I'd pick the
think the
bear.
bear. I think I would loan the bear my clothes so that the bear encountered the feminist, and then the feminist destroys the bear.
You take the feminist and you throw it behind you, in between you and the bear. Here, you
Yeah.
wanted to see a bear over a man. Here you go. Go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, right,
Oh,
dude.
man, I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Well, actually, I do. I didn't get my nap. I didn't get my little refresher course.
Did you
So,
eat today?
yeah, I did a little bit. I did a little bit. I did. I did. What time did I eat today? I ate at probably like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, something like that. No, it had to have been a little later. No, but it's probably 3 o'clock. I probably ate. So I'm actually probably like really need some food. So I usually have some out here, but I don't have any. But no, I did not. I forgot all about it after 3 o'clock. I've been busy. A lot of stuff to do. I may end the stream a little early tonight with only 4 hours in. That was the biggest bunch of horse shit I've ever heard in my life. Nobody has ever claimed that a man or woman following somebody around, yelling at them is domestic terrorism. I literally could not even begin to understand this woman's thought process. Yeah, I probably do. I probably do. Actually, I like cheese. I should have brought my little Baby Bell cheese things out, but I didn't. I wasn't thinking, obviously. So, but I think I'm going to end the stream a little early tonight. I think Andrew's still over hammering on people. I don't know that for a fact, though. Maybe he is. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like. Oh no. Let's see. Is Andrew still streaming? Can't tell. Yeah, I think he's still alive. Everybody go watch Andrew, and he's doing I think he's doing a TikTok invasion. Yeah, I think that's what he's doing. And you guys go have fun. Watch the chill stream. Josie, are you there? All right, so well, I don't know if Josie's there. Hey guys, by the way, if you I will be back Friday night. I'm also going to try and do a the day shift tomorrow at around 1:05. That would be Central Standard Time. And you guys can catch me if I have time tomorrow. I'm going to do a day shift. Day shifts are really kind of iffy. But I will definitely be back on Friday night, and I'm going to do Saturday night. Friday night, we're gonna have a guest. We're gonna be talking about money, or not money, but trading in precious metals and that sort of thing, and some other interesting stuff. And we'll see all you guys then. Go check out Andrew's stream, man. He's tearing it up over there. He's having a great time, and
And make sure you check out An Unreasonable Man wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out. Please like the video
yeah,
if you're
and
already
tell all your
subscribed.
friends and bring all your buddies, because I've seemed to have stagnated in my numbers, and I need to pump up my rookie numbers. So if you guys don't hide the pod from your friends, man. You let them know, bring them over. Friends, enemies, it's all the same to me. They even if they want, they can just like hammer me. It's fine. I'll let them make fun of me for a little while, but then I get to make fun of them. So
Are you on
it
Twitch
evens
too?
out. I am streaming on Twitch right now. I think, let's see. I know I'm streaming on, let's see, that is Twitch. I'm streaming on X. I'm streaming on Rumble right
All
now.
right, so at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break, and if you no longer want to see those ads, you can subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. Sorry.
Sport Brand, I am perfectly happy going on and talking on 2A channels as long as we don't do anything that would like demonetize or anything. I don't know if you're in the shooting sphere, but I'm trying to get my buddy Max Leograndis, who runs the PCL, Maximundi. I'm trying to get Max to come on and talk about his series and his trials and tribulations to getting where he is today as a young man from California, and working in the firearms sphere. And there's some other people I can reach out to. I know a lot of people in the firearms industry for sure, and I've actually considered that. As a matter of fact, I have a friend of mine who's an Olympian, and I may try and get her to come on and talk about her career and everything. So we'll be bringing her on and talking about her life choices at some point. She's a biathlete, so she did the skiing and shooting. Yeah, she's pretty awesome.
That's popular where I'm from.
Yeah, and so we're gonna have some pretty good guests coming up. I've just got to I got to iron out a few things first, and then mostly I gotta get those got to get those subscriber numbers up. Maybe I need to go pick on Destiny or something, or not pick on him, but maybe I need to bring Destiny on. The thing is, I just don't know that I'm going to have a good conversation with Destiny. It's it's pretty good. So,
well, you need to take your nap before you do that.
I do need to take my nap. I just missed my nap today, guys, and I haven't eaten, and I mean, and I was up a little later last night, beating on the 304s on whatever. So, all right, guys, we'll see you. Tell a buddy, bring a friend, come back next time, but you can't stay here. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here and